morning, everybody. I'm red. I'm real red. I wasn't expecting to be so red that the camera is obviously overdoing the redness here.
Sandy thinks Drum is coming over.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's like kind of looking toward the door, like, ooh, is this backloggery? She knows that she can tell it's stream night. She just can't tell the difference between backloggery stream night and MLiG stream night.
Oh, yeah, it all seems the same, I guess. All mixes together. Yeah, it is like I'm inside of the Virtual Boy right now. You know, you can kind of see that with the like the color banding in a way. It looks like I have a filter on it, but I don't. I just like
it looks
made the lights red in
there's
here.
like kind of like it looks like you're in a Play It Loud video.
Yeah,
like low color depth.
Yeah, with a perfect clock speeds analysis, whatever Kev just says. You know, 100% pure. You know, accuracy or something, whatever he says in the beginning of that video. Ah, all right. I saw
there was I mean, we're behind a couple, but Sandy just left.
Yeah.
Gonna put Sandy up again, but there was $2 from Kelly saying paw tip for Sandy.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll come back later. She's going elsewhere right now.
Thank you. There's also a $5 like a while ago when I first posted this stream up, saying like, "Good luck on the stream tonight" from Zeno's Paradox. Thank you.
Yeah, and there was also a notification that I'm sorry, Osceola. Let's go with that. Osceola.
It's been a member for
32 months.
32.
That's a lot of months.
32 months.
There's also a frame mister and a try surprise gift on the message. Always love seeing the frame mister.
Yeah.
Audie says that Coury looks like he is about to be murdered in an Italian slasher movie.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
But, you know, it's whatever. It works. You know, it's kind of fun. Let me straighten it out there. So I'm going to be playing some Splatterhouse. This is a late decision. I was originally going to play Gunstar Heroes because it just sounded fun. And then I wanted to find a Halloween themed game so I could use that skull in the thumbnail. And I was gonna play Silent Hill 2, but then I decided, I'll play Splatterhouse. And it is the most 2010 game you can probably think of. When you think of a game in 2010, this game is exactly what you're thinking of. Like, you'll be able to think of.
A good example of a 2010 game would be like Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Just like that.
Yes, exactly. And I briefly played this a while back when I was originally going to feature it in the Games Within Games episode because it has all three original games unlockable in it. And I unlocked the first game, and I ended up like leaving this one out of the episode because it was getting too long. But it will inevitably be in the whatever follow-up video I do of that. I have like a whole list of stuff.
I was quite. I mean, people are in the chat been talking about how it's a pretty pricey game. I did not expect this to be a physical game until you posted your thumbnail.
Yeah,
I was like, I just figured it'd be a download only game.
No, I mean it's. I think that when it came out, it was not well received, and the only reason I bought it is because I thought, this might be kind of interesting, and you know, it's out of frame in the thing in the thumbnail, but I mean, it has a $9.99 price tag on it, and I think that I got it for half of that, so I think I paid $5 for it. I don't know.
It's not backwards compatible, so you're playing it on a real 360.
On a 360, that's right. It's the first time I've turned on my 360 in a long time. So I guess we'll get right into it then, huh?
While you're getting going here, there was a $5 super chat from Eric Benoit. Thank you.
Thank you.
saying I missed you guys the last 2 weeks. Good to see you. Good to see you. And you will miss us next week because we're not going to stream on Halloween for 2 reasons.
Oh, gosh.
One, you know, Corey's going to be busy with Halloween activities with his kids, and
I just realized the weekend after that.
Silly.
I realized the weekend after that is when we're going to be at Retro World. So we might have to fill in like an extra stream. Or will you be back in time?
I'll be back. I should be back in time, although, like, you know, travel considerations might delay me.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't be if at least I'm back in time, I wouldn't be opposed to streaming, just because it would be. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be a very wait and see thing.
Right.
But anyway, I was going to say, though, if you don't want to completely miss us next week, if you go over to the Backloggery Twitch channel, which is just you know, twitch.tv/backloggery, you know, which, by the way, I stream there every Monday night as well. But it's obviously not going to be a Monday because it's Halloween, and on the Backloggery streams, we've made a tradition the past several years of playing the new Dark Pictures anthology game for that year. And you know, I meant to pick it up today because I'll have to remember to do that tomorrow, because they only hold it for so many days at Best Buy, you know. But anyway, we've played the new Dark Pictures anthology game each Halloween for the past couple of years, and we're going to do that again this year. Although it always goes so late. Like, we always think they're supposed to be like 5-hour games, but it always seems like it takes a little longer. So I don't know when we're going to start exactly. Like, it might not be ill-advised to maybe start as early as 5 p.m. I don't know.
Let's just say
we'll see. So I don't know what time we're starting, but 6 p.m. most likely on twitch.tv/backloggery if you want to see what I'm up to next Sunday evening. So we'll be doing that. So why is this guy bleeding to death?
Show me some faith if you trust me.
I'm sure I'll explain it. I think they stole his girlfriend was kidnapped. I just want to let you know, I was looking at some of the stuff in the unlockables, and there's definitely some nudity in this game. Just so everyone knows, it might happen unexpectedly.
We'll try to avoid it if possible.
Did I say it was going to be fun? You're going to have to learn to love.
And also, Air Benoit has been a member for 13 months.
Ah.
Not too shabby.
What am I?
There was also a $5 super chat from Ruge01 with no comment, but then there's another one that possibly had a comment. I'm sorry if you meant to leave a comment and it didn't go through, but thank you.
Satan's mask.
Saying the story of how we got this game out the door is pretty funny and a somewhat typical industry story. When you say we, were you involved with the game?
You help me get what I want, and I help you get your girl back.
I'll try to pay attention if you drop your story
what the fuck is going on?
into the chat. I'll try to keep an eye out for it. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There was also $10 from Jason Oostreicher.
Oostreicher.
I assume that's like Österreich, like Austria in German.
And I'm way out of practice.
Thank you. saying this game is ridiculous. I love it so much. Thanks for showing it. Recently, and can't find my 360, so I can play this. Bummer. Now, I mean, the 360 is not a commonly turned on system these days, but definitely good to have one around. So I wasn't expecting this to be 3D at all.
Yeah, so obviously, like, you had no idea that this was even a thing until today.
I think I did, but I forgot and didn't really know anything about it. I mean, if you had included it in that one video, it would have, you know, I think made more. I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, because of the unlockables, I was gonna put it in that episode and just didn't. I mean, it's kind of your typical like XXYY X, you know, combo game.
Yeah. There was also $2 super chat from Shadow Mask, just with the pair just turning around and going, "Hey you,
Hey you.
Hey you." I was telling you last week. I think off stream I tell you about okay, deactivate mask eye. It says you got to press this button or press up on the D-pad to enable mask eye, and it shows you points of interest. I was just telling you last week, I think off stream, about how there's this cat that is like just like around the neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
And his owners like moved into like this house, but he just kind of runs around and does his own thing, and he just, you know, feeds himself. You know, I've seen him multiple times just like eating birds and stuff. And his name is Frankie, and I can't not. Every time I see him, I can't not talk to him like in a Brooklyn accent. And I'm like, "What's up there, Frank?" I can't help it. Hey, Frankie.
So I see that Arujas says I was part of the in-house Namco team that took over the project from Bottle Rocket and finished it.
Oh, okay.
So I guess Bottle Rocket was the original developer. I presumably either they went under or they were not producing a satisfactory product, I guess.
Yeah. This is like such
Eric Fox is saying looks a little framey. I can't tell if it's just the stream. Or
no, it definitely is. Like it's. I mean, it's.
I wonder how the PS3 version compares. I mean, generally speaking, 360 games had more consistent frame rates
right
than PS3 versions, but I mean, not 100% of the time, but.
I mean, it's very similar to a lot of the, I guess, this era like reboots. You know, like this and Bionic Commando have a similar feel. And we both really like the Bionic Commando. We like the gameplay of the Bionic Commando reboot.
Yeah, I mean, at first I thought you were talking about
the character.
I thought you were talking about
we got
Rearmed, but yeah, the 3D Bionic Commando. Like I think it's actually a pretty neat game.
Yeah.
Like one of the funniest things about it is just like how overused the Bionic Commando theme is in that game. There's just like these like super epic versions of it, like playing like constantly. That doesn't bother me too much. I kind of like it, actually.
When you take damage, I mean, he gets like torn up, like his body, like I can see his rib cage. And this might be the bloodiest game I've ever played.
Have you ever played Mad World? I've never played Mad World.
But that's all. Oh, I guess is the blood in color in that, and everything else is in black and white.
I think it is, but I'm not
I have it, but I. Was that Platinum's first game?
Is that a Suda game? I think or it's Platinum Games. Like for some reason, I feel like looks like something that Suda would have been involved in, but I think it was like one of Platinum's first games.
There was also a 20.
Yeah, there was a 20 reals from
Minting
Pedro
objects.
Ferlani. Thank you. Saying, hey guys, hope you're fine. I've learned so much about image quality, especially in retro gaming, since I started to watch your videos. Do you suggest any book and or online class for improving knowledge on the subject? Thanks. I mean, there's not. I mean, I think I was kind of one of the, you know, not that we're the be all end all experts, but that was kind of like the original thought behind like the, you know, 101, 201 style numbering of our RGB videos is like almost make it feel like a college class or something. But no, I mean, you know, obviously there's RetroRGB.com, you know, that, you know, Bob tries to keep things pretty up to date there, and you know, and he also releases a lot of videos on his YouTube channel, or just the RetroRGB YouTube channel. You know, he gets into a lot of topics and devices that we never end up covering oftentimes. You know, I think he also has like more of an eye for like, oh, is this device like properly made and safely working and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's definitely online resources. It's not as scarce as it was when, you know, we started getting into this. But you know, and in terms of like, you know, understanding the technical aspects of like analog video and stuff, like that's a little above our heads. Like we kind of understand it to the point that's like we can understand basically how to hook it up and make it work, and we understand why this signal works on this type of device and not on this type of device. You know, that kind of stuff. Like we understand like, oh, like, you know, 240p and 480i or 15 kilohertz signals, and that's why they work on these displays, and why 31 kilohertz signals don't work on these other displays. And so, you know, we understand that stuff, but like in terms of like the deeper technical meanings of 15 kilohertz and that kind of stuff, and the dot clock rate of this and that, like it gets pretty crazy. You know, that stuff. I mean, I think that's why our videos, you know, found an audience, is because like we only understand it so much because we're not like, you know, engineers and you know, especially technical people. So it's like once it's distilled to the point where we understand it, we're like, oh, and then you know, we kind of confirm with the smart people that like this is correct, right? And they say yes, and then we're like, okay, so we can put this in the video. You know what I mean?
I like that it slows down when you are gonna do like a heavy hit. It slows down while you charge it up.
Boy, Ricky.
But it's interesting. I mean, a lot of the people here, like even Audie was saying, oh, I was involved a little bit with the audio early on. And it's kind of interesting because it's just like something that you don't really hear very much about. And it seems like actually maybe this is something that a lot of people have been wanting to see more of, I guess. Or just, you know, deserve to be shown off more.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly have not seen this game in action before at all. I mean, you know, I have such limited experience with the Splatterhouse games, but
oh, he just ripped his arm off.
Might have been a Genesis version. It seemed really cool when I tried on EverDrive once. I do have one Paku Graffiti, but that's the only one I have.
Oh, my arm!
Oh, my arm!
It's like, oh. Muscles will regenerate over time.
Like, he just sounds like this super, like, normal dude voice.
Well, no, that's like the mask is talking to him.
Oh.
He grew his arm back.
Like, what if he was Nolan North? That would make it the most 2010 video game ever.
If what?
if he was Nolan North.
Oh yeah, that's true. Someone was saying that it's like the voice of Winnie the Pooh or something like that. Oh, look at we got some.
What?
The
Sure.
person who is is like the same person who did the voice of Winnie the Pooh.
Okay, I have to.
You gotta look that up.
I have to confirm this.
Yeah, we got audio files. Here. What's this we got here? Oh, is it? We pick up weapon. I got another arm. I got my arm as my weapon now. Do I gotta do something special here? Oh, we can go right through here. No, it's.
Winnie the Pooh voice.
The terror mask is Jim Cummings. That's coming from Argus.
Jim Cummings appears to be the voice of Winnie the Pooh. Let's see.
That's interesting. It's inspired.
Yeah, he is the terror mask in Splatterhouse. Actually, looks like he does a lot. He's done quite a bit of video game work. He's Dallas in E's Book 1 and 2.
Oh, really?
He's several voices in some Bethesda games.
Get up. I do like that it slows down like that when you do the super hits.
Yeah. Well, how about that?
Oh, here we go.
Just like Tetsuya Nomura, was making, Disney-related stuff for so long, he had to, cleanse his palate with Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, make a video game about an angry man.
Jack Garland.
Jack Garland.
It's still like so funny to me.
I think it's like going to be like, assuming they can get like the frame rate stable at least. Like, I think it's going to be a legitimately good game with, a good premise and terrible characters.
How are you doing that?
Oh, that was Darkwing Duck too. Okay, yeah, because of the thing they did in the DuckTales reboot. That was pretty funny, actually. I didn't realize it was the same guy. But... Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I like I said, I think Stranger of Paradise is going to be a pretty good game, but it's so easy to poke fun at.
Yeah. Well, the cell phone thing, and
yeah,
the new one was just like killing me.
The tone of the game and the characters and everything is so 2010. As I said.
Well, that sounded like a Mega Man sound effect there for a split second.
Yeah, I heard like a word.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah, I'm sending you the audio, so you can hear it pretty good though. Are you?
Not super good, but I mean vaguely enough.
Oh, disgusting! How would I give for some hand sanitizer?
Plasma TV appropriate for playing video games? Well, I mean, obviously, keep in mind they're older at this point, so how long they will last, we don't really know. They aren't being made anymore. I saw at a thrift store the other day. I saw I didn't even see a price on it, and it looked a little roughed up, but it had such an interesting look to it. It was a
last semester.
it was a Marantz TV, which I'm guessing was kind of like a, very much a specialty sort of premium TV, because I don't think Marantz really. I was never aware of Marantz making TVs.
I see those occasional nudity. Sorry about that.
Whoops.
What can you do? Someone was saying that it was part of it wasn't in there originally, but it was part of a campaign with Playboy.
But you could like see the pixel grid on this Marantz TV. Like it was off and it was just laying down, face up. And you could like, with it powered off, like you could see the pixel grid, and it wasn't like sub-pixels either. Like I'm not really sure what kind of display it was. Like I was thinking maybe it was plasma, but I actually don't know. Like it was a very, like it had like a grid, like almost like a Game Boy style grid. I don't know what the resolution. I mean, it was obvious. It was probably quite high resolution. It was probably 720p, I would guess. But like the pixels on it just almost looked like, that Game Boy grid. It was very interesting looking. I was really curious about it, but I didn't. That's not what I thought plasma TVs looked like when they were turned off, but I kind of suspect that's what it was, but I don't know. There was £2 from Engine UK. Thank you. Saying, how's the Mr. episode coming along? Can't wait. You've been sharing a lot of B-roll you've been shooting for this.
Yeah. I thought it was fun. I'm just shooting. The first portion of it is going to be obviously the most B-roll heavy, because it's before I get into actually like the cores and stuff like that. Just like I show like a lot of stuff like building one, and I just like think it's fun to show, especially like dual output and stuff like that. And I just was like having a lot of fun with like low angled shots and stuff. But it's going. In the whole building aspect of it, I felt that it was important to break down a lot of the prices and stuff. I think that people might have a misconception that it costs $450, and it definitely, to like even just get started. I mean, you can literally buy the DE10 Nano and play like most of the cores and stuff. Even without the SD RAM, you can buy the DE10 Nano and a little $7 USB hub and in a wireless controller, or just like a USB controller, and you can be playing that stuff with just like less than $200. And I think that it's important to show that kind of stuff, because I think that I think that there's a lot of people out there that think that like the base price of entry is $450 to get like a pre-built system from like Mr. Add-ons or something with a metal aluminum case and everything. So I think it's very important to show that stuff and like talk about it. So that's what's going on. I mean, it's being worked on, and I'm doing it section by section, because things can change at a moment's notice. So I just think it's important to just do like one section at a time.
There was a 499 super chat from Brooks.
Oh, thank you.
Saying, helped clean out my grandma's storage yesterday. Came home with a 14-inch Sanyo and a 25-inch Philips. Both RF only, but they make my PC engine look hot. I got a 19-inch, I think 19-inch 19. It was, I guess it's probably 19 or 22 inches, and it was an Emerson. And it, RF only, it looks surprisingly good. Like, it's just a really clean tube. I hooked up this RF modulator I have to it. I can hook composite into it. It looks surprisingly good. It's not bad. I'm leaving it at my parents' house for now, but I could see myself swapping it for another CRT from here. Sometimes I like to hook up stuff RF to like shoot, something the truly authentic old school way. And it's about as good as it gets for RF. Bob showed me a picture of he recently moved out of New York City into Connecticut, and he showed like same TV, same console, same RF adapter. Here's what it looks like in New York City, and here's what it looks like in Connecticut. And it was like super noisy in New York City, and it looked fine. I always remembered you saying, I always thought this was kind of strange. You used to say like, oh, back in the day, you thought like composite was this massive upgrade over RF.
Oh, for sure.
I never felt that way. I wonder, like, were you lived like right next to an airport. Like, I wonder if like there was a lot of like radio noise that like interfered with your RF quality.
Who knows? It's certainly possible.
Like, so you saw like a lot of like grainy noise in your RF picture back in the day?
I wouldn't say that. I just thought that it just seemed to look a lot better once I upgraded. I mean, I didn't upgrade it to composite until PS1.
Well, I mean, I never had a TV that even had composite input until I got that VGA scaler to take to college. Like, and that was when consoles stopped shipping with RF switches, like when I got my N64 and then later my PS1, I had to run those through my VCR, and output those RF. When I got that Emerson RF only TV, I initially tried testing it, because I was at my parents' house when I bought it, and I, decided to leave it there for now. And my dad has this like DVD VCR combo that he hasn't been using, and like I said, well, can I just take that and put that in here? it was kind of funny because like I just figured like, oh, this will let me connect like some, because this was actually when I was working on the projectors video, so I had a bunch of consoles with me already, but I didn't have any RF switches. So I thought, oh well, I'll just I can, I had like Genesis composite cable, I had regular composite cables that I could use with an NES. I was like, I'll just test with this, and it didn't work. And then I noticed that like this DVD VCR combo, and I'm guessing this is probably very typical of DVD VCR combos. I was like, well, you know what? There's no like channel switch on it. Like there's no like channel 3 or channel 4 on it. That kind of led me to believe, you know what? I don't think there's an RF modulator in this thing. Like, it could use the coaxial cable input for passing through like your television to your TV, but I don't think that it can take composite and modulate that into RF. And so that was when I got my RF modulator from home, and sure enough, it works, and it works. It looks shockingly fantastic for RF. It was funny because, you know, we kind of had to, because I mean, my dad actually had like his like coaxial cable like running through this VCR that was like going to his cable box and going to his TV. You know, HD video just being passed through this coaxial cable pass through on this thing. And, you know, so we had to like unplug some cables to change out was wired. And when I told him like it didn't work, like he's like, well, he completely misinterpreted my reason for wanting to use the VCR. I just wanted to use the VCR to connect
like, just look at these
systems to.
That's gotta hurt.
But he was
Look at
like,
that.
oh, he was like, I thought you wanted to use that for VHS tapes. Like he was a little bit peeved. Like he was like, I thought you actually wanted to use it to watch movies. He's like, we did all that effort and you were just going to pass video through it and not use it. I was like, what are you so mad about? like in my mind, I was just thinking like, I'm thinking like, that's like literally like, at least today, if not back in the day even, like half the usefulness of a VCR is for routing other signals, right? Almost as much as watching tapes.
So I saw really quick. I saw somebody mention the splatter kills. Is when they turn red if I throw them? Is that how I regain health? Oh, I see. Oh, look at this. Okay, so that's helped me regain health. Ooh. Oh, whoops. It's a little. Ooh. Ooh, is he gonna eat it? It's like his lungs. He just like pulled his lungs out, and they're just like one piece. I guess that's.
Out in the suburbs though, RF I think can look okay.
Okay, so I had already was able to carry over my stuff here.
But anyway, yeah, I think like a DVD VCR combo, I think is most likely not going to have an RF modulator. So you couldn't hook up, you know, a PlayStation or whatever to an RF only TV. But
man, I got a lot of points here to use.
I think I said before, but I've had several dreams lately of like finding new like 32-inch CRTs.
Specifically 32-inch
in stores. Like I've had a couple of dreams like that.
I would love to have those dreams where, you know, you're at like a department store and they have like some old stock or something like that. And somehow you found it.
Yeah. And no one else bought it.
No one else bought it. Uh-oh.
But in my dream, I was like nervous, like, oh my gosh, what if someone buys this 32-inch CRT before I do? But like, you know, it probably been there for years.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta impale this guy.
In the dream world, anyway.
Look at I like the blood sounds.
Blood sounds.
Yeah.
What does blood sound like?
It's just like swishing liquid.
It's amazing though that Namco like thought to revive this as like a 3D brawl.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense for the time though.
Yeah, I mean at that time it definitely made sense.
I wish he would just eat the lungs.
I was visiting my parents for a bit this week. You know, I mentioned that I saw that odd-looking Marantz TV at a thrift store. It was a Habitat restore. We took a day trip to get apples in the mountains.
Ah,
And
the best kind of day trip.
Stopped at a couple of thrift stores and antique stores. Like I never would have expected my mom to be into this, but like lately she's like kind of been getting into thrift stores.
Yeah.
Because like it's like I mean my parents love going like that's like their, you know, typical day trip is just like, oh, let's go to a bunch of antique stores. Yeah, my dad likes to collect stamps and, you know, sometimes get old books, and my mom likes to collect, you know, a bunch of different like sort of old-fashioned, you know, dishes and kitchen type stuff. And she's like recently realized like, oh man, like I can actually get some nice, like some of these nice things that I like to buy at antique stores, but they're like $2 at a thrift store compared to, you know, whatever at an antique store. But anyway, we're at this antique store and I saw this box of it had an Atari 2600, a 4-switch Atari 2600 with controllers and 13 game cartridges, ET right on the top. And on the side of the box was you know, Atari game system and 13 games. $200 firm.
Firm. It should say, like, in quote or in parentheses, we know what we have.
Yeah. Like, seriously, that just made me laugh. 200.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah, I have no idea where they're getting that from.
Yeah.
They'd seen it. They saw it.
Like if I
on
did not have an
online.
Atari 2600, like I would not pay more than, like it should be $50, and I wouldn't consider spending more than $60.
Where's the spike that I'm supposed to be throwing these guys on?
But yeah, not even that. But yeah, like good luck. That thing's gonna be there a while.
Oh, there they are. I didn't even see them there.
I also saw while I was there. This probably won't show up at all. Took a photo of it. It was like this. Let me see if I can get this to appear on the stream at all.
I guess.
Like,
I guess
huh?
I just want to say. I guess the mask is a big Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka fan because he says, "I said good day, sir." I just imagine the death mask watching Willy Wonka.
There was this framed painting of Santa and a reindeer, and it was just like the most like sinister, horrific looking thing I've ever seen. And like I don't think it's like intended to be spooky in any way, but they just look so evil. Let's
Yeah.
see.
That's not what I was expecting. I expected it to be a little scarier.
Pretty scary. Let me send it to you on Discord. Maybe
Okay.
you can put it on the stream. Once you see it in
Get up.
full quality, it's pretty scary looking. Like it almost looks like there's like the bells on the strap around the reindeer almost look like eyeballs. I mean, it could have been an original painting for all I know. But maybe let me look up.
That like
Scary
barely gives you any help.
Santa painting. Let me see if it like comes up. If it's like a common, well-known image. Does not appear to come up on Google image search though. Nothing really of that vein. Look at what I sent you on Discord though. I think it's pretty cool.
I could see it. Yeah, it's a little scary. I think it's less scary than, you know, if you ever see those paintings of Santa and his like cheeks are so red. You know, it's just like, I don't know. I think that's kind of stuff is scarier. This thing, it does look like it's looking deep within your soul. It's almost like a Vigo the Carpathian kind of image, where it'd take control of you if you're looking at it for too long.
Is this an Unreal 3 game?
It's gotta be, right? I mean, it looks like it.
I
Really
mean, if it is the most emblematic 2010,
then it would be. Yeah, this is gotta be
ever. It has to be.
I'm sure we can get some answers.
I'm gonna see if I can find out.
I mean, the bloody chunks in this game seem like they are. They're very Meat Cube-esque.
Doesn't appear to say on the.
Oh no, it's saying it runs on Gamebryo. I'm not sure what that is.
I definitely remember that, but what? That was from a Rugis who worked on the game.
Yeah, so that's
pretty.
Yeah, it's
pretty
obviously what it is. It's obvious.
Gamebryo. Formerly NetImmerse until 2003. Game engine served as the basis for the creation engine, which I think is what Bethesda games have typically used.
How do you know? I'm inside your head, remember?
Oh, it looks like Bully used it.
Oh, okay.
Catherine. El Shaddai, Epic Mickey.
El Shaddai is getting a remaster, isn't it?
Huh?
El Shaddai, or did it get a remaster? Is it already out on PC at least?
No.
That's another one I should play. Like I got that one around the same time as I got this. For pretty cheap.
There was a $5 super chat from Jonathan Henson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying you guys played and/or have any thoughts on the quality of the Castlevania Advance Collection? No, I have not. Like I'm sure it's going to get a physical from limited run. So
yeah, and you know I wouldn't mind just getting it they have on the system, but I didn't realize you had mentioned that it has enhanced sound.
Supposedly, yeah. I haven't heard it myself, like in a video or anything, but I saw someone like in Discord or something say that there was you know, it showed the feature in the menu, so I'm assuming it sounds like a lot better.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have sound from the game that, you know, doesn't sound like coming from a GBA, that's for sure.
Ooh, got an achievement
I mean,
there.
it's got great music. The games have great music, of course, but the GBA sound quality leaves a lot to be desired. Speaking of Castlevania, though, I was telling Coury earlier, I was thinking about seeing if I could squeeze in one more October-themed game for the month. I was thinking about seeing if I could play through Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 this week. I just thought it'd be why not? I liked the first Lords of Shadow. So I've never gotten around to playing the second. I've heard it's sort of a 3D Metroidvania.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a hand coming out of that.
I like the first Lords of Shadow. I mean, it was a visually striking game, although it had a very bad frame rate.
Yeah, and I'd be interested in playing it on the Series X or something like that.
Yeah, well, and that's how I am going to play. I actually have Lords of Shadow 2 on both PS3 and 360 because I think I got the PS3 version when it was like $10, but then I just still never got around to playing it. And then like when it was backwards compatible on, you know, the current Xbox systems, I was like, oh, I need to get that because you know it's still a cheap game to get, or at least it was when I grabbed it, you know, a year or two ago, probably. But you know, I you know, even though we were kind of ragging on Metroid Dread last week, you know, I have a soft spot for Mercury Steam's games. I mean, I think you know they've done some interesting games. You know, from not all that many I've played, but I certainly liked Lords of Shadow 1 and
Lord of Shadow is just like
a Castlevania game, but an interesting game.
Oof.
Nonetheless.
I can go up Lords of Shadow is just like a huge waste.
I mean, Mercury Steam did all of the Lords of Shadow games. Just FYI there. Yeah, I've not played Mirror of Fate, but I do. I'm pretty sure I bought the 360 version.
We share that account, so that was one of a free one month. So
okay,
you might be seeing that.
I know it's installed on my system. I just can't remember if I bought it myself or not. I kind of feel like I did.
Oh, it like sent me all the way back here.
Vanessa Sarah says ragging would be an understatement. Those are some pretty crappy takes from you two. Well,
on what?
I don't know. Metroid Dread, I thought it was fine, you know? Oftentimes I feel like when there's a game that is like really well liked and I just don't love it as much as everyone else does, I always feel like I'm coming across like I hate it or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case. Like, I always feel like whenever Super Mario World comes up, like, I feel like I like Super Mario World, but I just don't love it as much. With a lot of other people, I prefer Mario 1 and Mario 3, and probably Mario 2, like US Mario 2. Mario World. I like Mario World, but I just, you know, it is not a contender for the top Super Mario Brothers to me. And so I always feel like when I'm talking about it, I'm always like making these little criticisms.
I'm gonna come on.
I'm just saying like, oh, like the Goombas look weird.
Fucking rookie.
You know. So I mean I always feel like I'm coming across like I'm sort of like complaining about it, but it's still a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 game, you know. However you wanna rank it.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought Dread was very good, but I just, for whatever reason, this level design did not make an impression on me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's how I felt too. And that's okay. It's okay to feel like that, I think. Right?
Minato says, I liked Dread, but didn't love how the game did the backtracking for you. That's a great way to phrase it. It did the backtracking for you. It just sort of was just like, you should probably go this way. And then, oh, you're taking a teleportal to this previous area that you kind of couldn't get to before, but now it's like really close to this other area where you were. You did not. I did not feel engaged with the backtracking process.
Yeah.
The exploration process. And I'm sure for a lot of people that's a plus. I'm sure that was an intentional design decision, thinking, oh, we want to keep the game moving. We don't want people to be frustrated or bored or stuck too long figuring out where should I go next. But like, to me, that is what makes that genre of game to me. Is
oh, come on!
That engagement and uncertainty about the
his chain's still hanging there. You see his chain was like floating.
About the exploration process.
I thought I would dash right through it, but maybe I gotta hold it down longer, I guess.
Throw out another hot take and say your favorite Final Fantasy game is 13. That's not true, but I do like 13.
Yeah. We liked it enough to get the Platinum Trophy on it.
We did.
And that's a game that I feel if people return to it now, I bet that they think that it's a lot better than they thought it back in the day.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was... what, did it come out in 2010 like this did?
Did it really?
I bet it was a 2010 game. Or it might have been 2009. But it was, close enough. Let's see. 2009. Well, actually, hold on. It released in Japan at the very end of 2009, but it came out everywhere else in 2010.
Oh, he just cut off my arm.
But
There you go. I don't want to deal with these guys. He turns into Baraka when this happens.
But I felt like Final Fantasy 13 was like, kind of almost an interesting experiment in, cutting out a lot of the fat of the RPG experience. Like, how fun is it really talking to everyone in towns? Final Fantasy 13 just said, why not have no towns? Or basically no towns. There's like one or two segments of the game where you can kind of talk to some NPCs, but it's not really a focus at all. I thought it was a really good linear RPG experience, and now everyone's tired of open worlds.
Yeah.
And rightly so. And, Final Fantasy 13, kind of being this linear sort of focused experience. My only complaint about Final Fantasy 13 is I felt like each dungeon was maybe like 10 to 15% too long.
But they weren't even really dungeons. They were just like the progression of the story. Like the story just takes you through
but
them.
Each area that you were in, but like I kind of felt like one thing I really liked about it was, a lot of the game you're kind of in these two character pairs. Up until maybe even past the halfway point, depending on how much side questing you end up doing. But like for so much of the game, you're in these two-person pairings where you kind of have to, you're forced to play all of the characters, and you're forced to sort of understand like what they contribute and what their different abilities contribute to the battle system. You can't really just like ignore any one character's sort of offerings to what you can do in combat. It sort of forced you to explore different angles of like, how could I approach this? How could I approach that? And I thought the game did a very good job of sort of curating these sort of character combat scenarios, for you to, sort of deal with. And to me, that kept the game feeling fresh, during that very, the linear majority of the game. It's a very interesting game. And I do think a lot of people say like, oh yeah, it would be well received today.
Yeah. My only complaint was that there's a lot of stuff that you had to read about in the appendices or whatever, which is fine. I mean, that's a more common thing to do today, I guess.
Final Fantasy 13 trilogy on Switch. I mean, it's kind of surprising to me that there hasn't been
Yeah, especially when they did the
a
work
remaster yet.
Yeah, to
Feels like it's time, and I think it would be pretty well received.
yeah. Yeah, and the music is great in 13. It's just, I don't know, I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
I was punching him so fast, it made me think of the last scene in Death Proof, where he has all those quick cuts of Kurt Russell getting punched in the face.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh man, yeah, it's pretty great, but just like the sounds and stuff during it, when it's just like it's like rapidly cutting to different angles of him getting punched in the face by different people that are surrounding him. And then it ends with like this kick to the face. It's so over the top.
13 story makes no sense. Yeah, I mean, and the game does a bad job of like kind of explaining the background. Like you really have to read the in-game lore documents, through the menu. But it is not nowhere near. I mean, it's actually rather low on my Final Fantasy, list in terms of story, lore, characters. That aspect doesn't really do a lot for me, but the gameplay, the music, the kind of general look and art of the game are all really good aspects. Yeah, story, characters, not very high up on Final Fantasy for me, but I think it is they are entertaining and well playing games. There was a $1.99 super chat from Brother Booty. Thank you.
Bodhi the
Saying,
Bodafrin.
request to get Spawn Wave as a future stream guest.
Oh yeah, I if he has time. I mean, he keeps such a crazy schedule. He like releases videos every single day. He has like several kids. I mean, his work ethic is incredible.
I don't know how people with kids like get literally anything done. Obviously they do. You do.
Yeah.
I cannot. I just cannot even begin to process how you can do anything anymore.
Well, it just depends.
I mean, it's
it could be argued that I don't know how I do
who
either.
makes it work. I don't know how you could possibly do it.
But yeah, I mean, if he'd be into it. But I mean, he just does so much. I can't even imagine that he'd feel like doing a 3-hour stream on a Sunday night. Oh, jeez. Oh, we got some tentacles in here. Oh, jeez.
It looks like it might be the first boss.
Yeah. Oh, I got some metal laying here. Should
kind of talking. Kind of getting back to our kind of ambivalent take on Metroid Dread. things shouldn't be this way, but I feel like expectations definitely plays a lot into my kind of feelings about a game. Like, I feel like I can, in some ways, feel more strongly about a game that I had lower expectations for, and it's like, oh, actually, this is kind of interesting, versus a game that I had higher expectations for, and it's like, oh, yeah, it was fine. Like, if you were to, like, kind of objectively analyze those games, it's like, okay, like, the game I had high expectations for, but I thought was just fine, like, objectively, it's a better made game than, you know, the, you know, game I had low expectations for, but thought was kind of surprisingly interesting. And I feel like, and maybe it's in some ways because I feel like I have to defend the other game, like, but I feel like I somehow walk away from a, you know, low expectations, actually kind of good experience versus, you know, a great but no better than I really expected experience. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like it, like, you know, on paper it's like, oh, you shouldn't feel that way. Like the objectively better game, you should like more. But it's like, well, I don't know. Like,
Oh,
whether it should or shouldn't, expectations and the effect that has on the experience, you know, they do play a role.
The floor's starting to give way.
definitely gonna be ripping that hand off and stabbing him with that thing. I know that's how it's gonna go.
It's a pretty elaborate character model, this boss.
Yeah.
Lots going on.
We talked a little bit the other day about our thoughts on how the Uncharted movie is looking, and neither of us are that impressed.
No.
I didn't even know that the trailer came out, and then you sent me a message asking me if I'd seen it, and I was definitely expecting, you know, if they're gonna pitch it as, you know, like an origin story, or like a young Drake thing, that's one thing. But I feel as though the situations that he appears to be in, even though some, like, they're being recycled from the games, it just seems like the situations that a more experienced Drake would be in. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's no way it can fit into the canon of the games because he's, you know, like, he's flying out of the back of the plane from 3, and, you know, there's...
Yeah. Well, and it's okay if it doesn't fit the canon of the
we saw
game.
how he met Sully in 3. Like, it's... Not only that, Sully never looked like Mark Wahlberg without a mustache.
No.
So, like, I mean, I have a hard time accepting Spider-Man as Nathan Drake, and an even harder time accepting Mark Wahlberg as Sully. Like, it just, he does not, like, there was nothing in that trailer that really, like, gave me that Nathan Drake personality.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I
I'm
don't...
gonna rip his jaws off.
I don't know. It seemed like it's probably a perfectly well enough made, you know, big budget action adventure romp, but I can't feel any excited. I can't feel excited about it, knowing that, like, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's going to add anything.
No, and it's not like
it's
it
gonna be
needs
its own
to.
thing, which should be fine in theory, but
It doesn't need to add anything to the games. But I just felt that it seemed like if they're gonna go for a young Drake thing, then he needs to. It seemed too big. It's like they wanted to have a young Drake but getting into the kind of stuff that a more experienced thief gets into. I refuse to believe that, 20-year-old Drake was getting into was hanging out of back of planes.
Well, no, I mean he was like, going on little escapades, running away from the
the orphanage or whatever. Yeah.
You had to sneak around and get away from the nuns.
Yeah.
And run across the rooftops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is, I think it's a mistake to go for a young Drake. I mean, if you want to do those stories, then they should just found somebody who is older.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and that would have been way more
Tom
interesting.
Holland looks younger than he is.
Right. That's absolutely true.
It's really kind of ambiguous to me what age they're really trying to go for. I mean, maybe he is older than, young Drake was.
Boy, Ricky.
In the flashbacks in the games. Maybe he really is supposed to be older. Because in the trailer, he was working as a bartender or something. He doesn't look old enough to be working as a bartender.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have just you look at Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, works because Harrison Ford was in his mid to late 40s in that movie. Although I can't.
Maybe they were trying to go for appeal to the Japan audience, where it's kind of not cool to have people go on exciting adventures after they're 22 years old.
Yeah, once they're in their 20s.
Mama asshole.
It's over.
You still don't
Time to be a salary
You
man.
know the answer.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Trusting me is the only chance you got.
But yeah, it's too bad because it seems like such a easy thing to make a movie of.
How old is Tom Holland? I looked it up. He's 25. But yeah, I mean you're right. Thinking of him as being high school Spider-Man, definitely probably plays on your preconceptions somewhat.
Yeah.
But
Without beginning or end. Perhaps. No. Too late. A soul must be
Right, so Indiana Jones is the perfect comparison, actually. They did Young Indiana Jones in the 90s. I mean, I've barely seen any of that show, but I mean, I guarantee you he wasn't doing anything as crazy as
West.
Nathan Drake was doing when he was
yeah.
25.
I
when he was
bought
in
the
that movie.
DVD set of that series when it came out, and
Mhm.
I watched the first episode, and I have no idea why. I just never bothered to finish it. Why are you going through this hyperspace portal there in the loading screen?
I don't know.
Dr. West? Hello?
Well, why are they looking for this?
We have fun. I got us tickets for that concert at the Arkham Voldemort.
Well, Nathan
I have a
feeling
hard
as
time
Drake and I don't
seeing
care.
Splatterhouse dude is this guy with glasses.
Well, the mask turns him into this. I believe it.
I know, but it's still funny.
Vanessa was saying Nathan Fillion is Drake and I don't care about his age now. I mean, if you watch that short film that he was in,
Yeah.
It's
in the shadow
probably a lot better than this entire movie will be.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. They definitely nailed the look and feel there.
Yeah.
Take it steady. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You okay?
Yeah.
Good. Because dead, you're useless to me.
I wonder how many
It's a
levels are in
This
this game.
sounds appropriate coming from someone named Total Gore. One of my favorite games right here.
Could be another world. That's
There
the
you
thing
go.
about high
We
tech.
looked this up on how long to
It's
beat.
a crapshoot.
I'm guessing 6
Sure.
hours.
Splatterhouse. 2010. Main story, 8.5 hours.
Oh,
Main
wow.
plus extra, 11.5 hours. Looking at the longer list of breakdowns, that looks about right. Several. There's not many completions that are longer than, just on beating the game, they're longer than about 9 hours.
That's
so.
not too bad.
That's not bad. You could finish this, and don't you have to? Do you have to finish the game to unlock all the classic games?
Probably. I don't remember how you. I don't know if you get them in the progression of the story, or if you actually have to find them. I don't remember.
Yeah, you have to do that in the Dracula X Chronicles. You have to actually find Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night.
But it's really easy to find it. It's like right at the beginning of the game, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, at least one of them is like a little tricky to get, but like it's a few levels into the game. You have to like go down a particular path too.
Oh, you were gonna play the Wanpaku Graffiti like a few weeks ago, weren't you?
I was, but I think I'm going like, I mean, obviously since this is going to be our last stream in October, if I finish Fatal Frame 2 on the Backloggery stream tomorrow with enough time, I was thinking about playing Wanpaku Graffiti. Because apparently it's like an hour long or something. Or that's about what it took Drum, I think. He said he beat it on his first attempt too.
Oh, okay.
But it was pretty close. Anyone know why Symphony of the Night is still not on Nintendo? I think it's because the collection that came out on PS4 is using, most likely, as far as we know anyway, is using. Look at all the blood just poured out of his arm. Most likely using Sony's PSP emulator. And just, taking the retro versions from Dracula X Chronicles. So, although, I mean, Symphony of the Night, didn't it come to, like, mobile devices or something?
Maybe.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I was supposed to say Bloody Bones. No, this version has the
In the shadow of the
unlockable.
abyss.
I mean, I have the first game unlocked here. Why do we have to sit through this whole thing now? Okay. I have the.
There was a $10 super chat from Low Techie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, random question: how do you guys organize and keep track of all the game footage you capture? Well, in terms of like archiving it for like later use, like we could definitely do better. And you've talked about like getting another NAS actually to start building a more accessible, better archive of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I have done a really good job, I feel, as like archiving all of my G-roll, as we call it, and B-roll. I mean, I have them all sorted out by console and connection type, and sometimes if it's like a specific device.
Yeah, I mean, generally when I'm making an episode, to be honest, I make a B-roll folder, and that's where my camera shots go into, and I make a G-roll folder, and that's where my game capture goes.
Mm-hmm.
And generally speaking, like they're just kind of all dumped in there, and I kind of like, if it's like an RGB episode where I'm making like comparisons and stuff, like I I make the comparison immediately, so I know which clip is which, and so I just end up being lazy and not like labeling them most of the time.
Yeah.
But when I do get really organized is, for example, if I'm gathering like a lot of materials for you, then I'll like, put everything in folders and label it and,
You don't want to do it. You don't do it for yourself.
But I don't do it for myself. Yeah. Which maybe I should, because then like, the footage is not that useful in the future, because it's like, okay, like sometimes I can tell, like I know, like I can like dig up my, folder for, old episode on the original TMNT.
Right.
And like I can look at that and I'm like, okay, I know that this was captured on an TMNT. I know this was captured, composite off of a real. I can deduce how they were captured.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't know. And in which case, I won't use the footage if I don't know how it was captured. Unless it's some situation where it doesn't matter how it was captured.
Right.
But yeah, when I'm and then you have something like the Super Scope episode where I for the most part, I played the games, and then I was editing much later. So I mostly didn't label anything, because it's obvious what it is. Like I can look at this and footage, and I know what Yoshi Safari looks like. I don't have to like label that.
Right.
But what I did label in some cases was whether it was played with the mouse controller or Super Scope, in the games where that was an option.
Right.
So I did label that because I was afraid, like, oh, what if I can't tell what it was? But then, like, later I was like, oh, well, when you play with the Super Scope, it's super bright. And then, like, you can kind of tell by the way the cursor moves whether it was the mouse or the controller. So I got lazy later on and just didn't label them. Like for the Terminator footage, for example, like I was able to just look at that and I knew if it was using the mouse or the controller because of how it moved.
Yeah.
And I knew it used the Super Scope because it was pink and blue.
Well, I have all my, like, the gameplay is spread across 2 4-terabyte drives, and B-roll is on 1 5-terabyte drive right now. But I'm going to have to get another game 4-terabyte drive and another B-roll drive. And that's why I started thinking, like, oh, I should upgrade the NAS that we use. I mean, we have like a 4-bay NAS that's like at my house that we put like a lot of our important footage and like archival materials on there. But I had an idea of getting like a 12-bay and then putting like all of our gameplay like sorted out, like how I've been sorting it. And like I use like a mass renamer to like name everything in the folder, and it also like puts like the resolution and everything like in the file name.
Wow.
And I thought about just having a archive of that where we could just both pull off of it at any point. And like as time goes on, especially when it comes to B-roll, like we've just shot so much B-roll that it's silly not to reuse some of it as much as we can. And sometimes we shoot like some footage of like a device or something like that, and it's like, well, I don't want to like pull this whole thing out again.
Sometimes you don't even have access to it.
Right. So I just think it's good to have that as just like access. A NAS is a network attached storage, so you put hard drives in it, and it will it's like connected to I can try connects to it like as a come on, I'm like so dead I couldn't get myself.
Almost like a Dropbox.
Yeah.
Like,
for you it appears on like
sync over the internet to me.
Right. So yeah, things you can pull things down. We have like folders you can sync to your computer, but then the rest of it you can just like access via FTP. I was thinking about like I wonder if there's a way to, or if there's like a program for like our NAS, like the Synology NAS that we have, that would allow us to allow you to scrub through and like see clips, like an interface kind of, instead of just like a file list, but like thumbnails or something like that. You could like scrub through and see what you want to download. And I'm sure that's got to exist.
I saw someone say just a bit ago could not find the Backloggery stream despite looking for it. It's just twitch.tv/Backloggery, and it's every Monday from 7 Eastern to 11 Eastern roughly. But we're going to be streaming on it this Sunday.
Right.
Probably, I don't know, probably start time 5 or 6 most likely, since it's going to be a Halloween stream. But like we said, we're not going to be streaming here this coming Sunday because it is Halloween, and so I'll be doing the Backloggery stream instead. Also, there was a $2 super chat for Wadamus. I don't know if I butchered your name. Thank you. Saying chance of a VWii versus Wii video per Voltar request. I had to Google what VWii is. I guess that's the Wii portion of the Wii U. I guess that's as either maybe what's called under the hood, or what the hardcore
VWii Herman.
I was not familiar with that term, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we do a Wii RGB 200 episode, which is probably one of the sooner forthcoming RGB episodes, absolutely that'll be part of it. In fact, I feel like it's probably come up in an episode at some point, but I can't think of what one it might have been. But when the Wii U first came out, and especially when I was just using it on 1080p TV, I had not gotten like upscalers and stuff yet. Because it came out in late 2012. I didn't get the FrameMeister until like spring 2013, I don't think. So, at that time, I thought it looked fine. But, it's not, people, generally say it has bad color handling and stuff. I don't remember a lot of direct comparisons I've made to it before. And now I can definitely, see, oh yeah, it's not particularly well scaled. I think even just like the Wii Dual, with its 480p output, I think looks better than, whatever kind of scaling is used for, outputting from the Wii U. But, a lot of people really love using the Wii U just as an easy way to get, Wii games, especially homebrew stuff, output over HDMI, including GameCube, loading GameCube games that way. And I want to say people have said that GameCube games can even get some frame rate benefits, if I recall correctly. I've never tried homebrew on Wii U. You have a second Wii U, so you were thinking about doing homebrew.
Yeah, someone local on Marketplace was selling a white Wii U with a white gamepad that I inquired about. And it's just, it was originally $100, but it had been marked down to $75. And I looked at it, and it's like also includes a copy of Breath of the Wild. I'm like, oh, I'm interested in this, especially now.
Yeah.
But then I messaged and got no response, so it's too bad.
But yeah, I mean, that will definitely be thoroughly explored when that episode happens, which No, I would like for that to be a relatively soon to tackle post Analog Frontiers Part 5 video. By the way, my subscription to Red Giant Universe ends March 3rd. And I just like loathe it so much now. Like they've gone like Red Giant is under like new ownership now, and like already Red Giant's effects were like phenomenally, unbelievably poorly optimized.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like they're trying to make them poorly optimized. It's not a great experience, but they do have cool effects, but they are not a pleasure to use. And I've kind of wanted to unsubscribe for a while, and now this, over the past year, they are under new ownership, and big pain in the butt to use those effects. But Analog Frontiers, the graphics and stuff that I use in it and the intros are using some Red Giant effects, and so I have to have it to keep the look of Analog Frontiers consistent. Analog Frontiers Part 5, that'll be out, by the end of this year. And then obviously I'm going to have to, really hustle and get Part 5 done, before March 3rd next year. So that's kind of just a deadline of necessity, really. If I don't want to spend $200 resubscribing to Red Giant.
Yeah.
Because I am so over it. I'm so over Red Giant.
They inhabit the abyss.
Ew, is the Wii U about 10 years old now? Don't make me think about that. Ew, I don't want to feel that way. 10 years, wow. That's crazy. Because Drummond Lynn still lived, out on the east coast of the state when the Wii U came out. And they moved over to this area the next year. And so I remember, they came here for the Wii U launch, and we had both of our systems pre-ordered at our local Walmart, and we went and picked them up there. But yeah, so I mean, they didn't even live here back then 2 years ago, but it's weird at the same time of thinking like it'll be coming up on 10 years of them being in this area. That's crazy.
Where do we go now?
Oh, I traverse chasms. Let's highlight the node, and then A to jump.
Have you tried any retro games in VR like Doom or Half-Life? No, but I do, I don't think this is what you're talking about, but I do have like the Doom 3 VR edition. I haven't tried it though. I've never played a version of Doom 3, and I've kind of been wondering, like, would it be a cool experience playing that in VR for the first time, or should I just play it normally?
Wait, Doom?
Well, I mean, I only have PlayStation VR, and Coury as well. We don't have any PC Doom, or we don't have any PC VR systems. So, any sort of hacks or mods that you would use to play like Half-Life or Doom, we don't really have easy capability to do that.
Jump on the trains to go up.
Like,
Am I just gonna jump over
Doom
there?
3 in VR for the first time? I don't
Oh,
know.
he just does it. Oh, I see. Oh, how very 2010. Oh. Glow, like the
It's
glow.
very 2010.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it's.
Um.
I guess now it's like instead of showing glowing edges, it's like we're gonna have like paint there or scuff marks around it.
Speaking of them old shooters, though,
I gotta do this
I was
crap again.
watching John's video that he did the other day. I watched it when I was eating lunch today on the Switch port of Dusk, which I've ordered from Limited Run already, and it got me really excited to play it. I mean, it sounded like not only an amazing game but an amazing port. I'm glad I got it. Because I asked John before I bought it. I said, "Was this one of those old school style shooters you liked?" Because like there's kind of getting to be a lot of those, and I've kind of lost track.
Yeah.
I knew it, and it was. I couldn't remember specifically which one it was, but it was number 8 on his Game of the Year in like 2019 or something.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited for that. It's funny, listening to that. Did you watch that video?
I didn't. No.
It's fun to see. John seems to have fully embraced the term of boomer shooter. He's owning it. He's like, I love my boomer shooters. I was telling him, even though I didn't play a lot of first-person shooters back in the day, and I've never first-person shooters have never been one of my main genres. Even as they've modernized and stuff, but in more relatively recent years, I have definitely come to an appreciation of the boomer shooter. There is,
okay,
good. Going back and really playing through Doom and playing around with Quake and some of those other games.
Come on.
I haven't fully finished all of them, but there is just this great, there's a great sense of momentum in those games.
Yeah, it's
the
just
speed that you move is really fast.
That's why I think a lot of people like the new Doom
is
too.
Simple, but like really fun. I mean, there's just kind of this purity to the game design that I think just works so well, and it's also kind of more of a exploratory, find your way. How do I get through here? How do I get there? Sort of. It's more. It's about different things than what first-person shooters have become about, and I kind of love it. I can't think of the last recent-ish first-person shooter I've even played through. I used to play through a lot of first-person games, in the PS3 era, and during the era where I was kind of playing a lot of Steam games, sort of at the end of that PS3 generation. I this past generation or so, I've just really fallen out of just kind of keeping up on what are first person shooters like these days. I've just not bought that many. Some, sure.
Yeah, you still got to play Halo. You haven't played
I know,
any of the Halos.
I know.
That'd be a great, I don't know, maybe not a great stream. I was actually talking to
I've
John.
definitely thought about streaming.
Yeah, we should do it do a co-op. I guess that's not what I do. Telling me to jump,
But yeah, I guess Fatal Frames. Well, it's not really a first-person shooter, but when you shoot the camera,
yeah,
you are in first-person mode. I mean, I like first-person shooters. It's just never been one of my. It's just it's not been like platformers or
Okay.
RPGs for me. You know, those are, you know, kind of consider like platformers and RPGs to be my main genre. As you know, first person shooters have always been, you know, far behind on my list, but I like them. But you know, the one I, you know, the ones I've ones I've been most excited about though, you know, are, you know, sequels to the really old stuff. You know,
Jeez, these things like crush me.
looking forward to playing Wolfenstein 2 and, you know, Doom 2016. I still haven't played through that. Doom Eternal. You know, this kind of things are the ones that I'm really looking forward to playing. And, you know, the retro styled ones and the actual retro ones that I haven't done yet. $5 from For the Love of the Game. Thank you. Saying stream Halo on the original Xbox 480p. Do it for the Xbox video. Well, you know, like I was thinking for a while there that I was going to play the original Halo on the original Xbox, but like it sounds like they've really fixed very recently, in fact, the version of the Master Chief Collection. So
Yeah.
I've kind of been thinking that's what I would end up playing. But that's a relatively recent development.
It's going to be interesting to see what you think of it, because it's not going to have the kind of impact as it had on a lot of people with you, because a lot of the things that it did has been adopted into games that you've already played.
Sure. But, you know, I mean, I played like maybe an hour of it, like several years ago. I don't remember why exactly. Like, I actually played it on Xbox 360 because I was just like, I have literally never used backwards compatibility on this. Like, I have no idea, like, how it even is. And I understand it's pretty spotty, but, you know, from what I could tell, it seemed like Halo was playing fine, you know, but maybe not, you know, since I don't know the game particularly. But I played like an hour of it on it, and it was really good. I mean, I wanted to keep playing, but I was really just playing it to test. I didn't feel like I was, you know, ready to commit to it, and I certainly didn't want to commit to it on the Xbox 360.
Yeah. That's good. I will be curious to see if you like it. I played through the first one.
I think I will.
I played through the first one and the third one the most. And I really have a hard time deciding which is my favorite outside of the first and third one. I mean, probably the third one is probably my favorite. But the first one has some great moments too. The third one only has like one kind of bad level. In the first one, the way that the levels are set up, you'll find yourself backtracking through levels and you just like proceed through the level in reverse. So you'll see a lot of familiar areas, and it is fine. Like it's a great way to
I have no problem
extend
with that
it
conceptually.
Right, and from what I understand, that's something that they did to make it a quicker development. I can't use the RB plus. Ooh, RB plus Y to stun. Oh, okay.
I remember. Is it Halo ODST that is kind of has some like slight open world elements?
Yeah. Well, it's the way the game is constructed is interesting because you have an open world city hub, and you go to different things. Like you find different remnants, and it flashes to like the story of what happened for that to happen.
I
To have gotten there.
I remember that game and Wolfenstein. I think it was just called Wolfenstein. You know, the Wolfenstein that was in the 360 PS3 generation. I remember those kind of being compared a bit at the time because it's kind of a similar thing. I did play that Wolfenstein, but you know, I didn't have any Xbox systems at that time, so I did not play Halo ODST, obviously.
It's good.
I see Vanessa mentioning Republic Commando, which I actually tried that game the other week.
Right.
My copy came from Limited Run Games, which I honestly never heard of the game until that, and then like I was learning like, oh, that like apparently like that was one of the the Star Wars games that people considered to actually be really good at the time.
Yeah.
So that made me interested. So I was like, oh well, I should try that then. And I popped it in not with any intention to like commit to it or anything, but I just was like, I want to see what this is like. Like it made a really bad impression at first because like the menu just looks practically emulated. I mean, it's just like, it just looks like there was zero effort put into the menu. It's just stretched. Like it looks really bad at first, but then it's pretty good once it gets into the game. Although I think like the HUD elements are probably not like really resized correctly. I'm guessing. But the game itself does seem to be pretty good. I played 15 or so minutes of it. So I am interested in playing. The only thing that like kind of tripped me up was like it's weird to play a Star Wars game and not be shooting troopers.
Yeah.
Like that's your team. But then at the same time, I kind of had a hard time at times like parsing from a distance like, is this a droid or is this a clone trooper? Like, should I like until I got closer because the colors are not very strong, like the color differences of like visually distinguishing droids versus clone troopers. Like it kind of takes me a second. Like, should I be shooting or not?
Yeah, that was one of several that I got 2 boxes from Limited Run this week, and the way that we order stuff is that we always wait for the last possible time to get a certain game, and then we order a whole bunch of stuff at once, like in one box, to save on shipping.
Save shipping, yeah.
And
which makes it a very long wait, but
yeah, and that's whatever. That's definitely not a big deal.
Yeah.
For me, I like, what am I gonna do? Why do I need to play that stuff like right then? I don't.
Yeah, exactly. I see Demo Kirby saying Republic Commando is super short. Recommend playing through only 3 long levels.
Oh wow.
Interesting. So, because I was thinking like, oh, I should play through this first level when I was testing it out, and I was like, oh, this just keeps on going. Maybe I'll stop for now. I mean, I'm gonna look it up on how long to beat.
If it's on, yeah, maybe that's like a stream.
I don't know. How long to beat's not making it sound super short.
How do I? It's just done. How do I hit
There's
it?
a ton of completion entries on it. Like it kind of is averaging to 9 hours, but you kind of have to look at the full list. Like there's also a lot of people beating it in 7 or 8. Maybe it could be a stream though. Maybe we could beat 1 level on a stream.
Yeah, well, at least how long to beat looking at that stuff, it gives you a general idea.
Yeah, of what you're getting into.
Although I've been finding myself avoiding looking at it because maybe it's like a spoiler for a game if you know how long it's gonna. generally.
Tommy, for example, although in that case, I would have probably liked to have known it was so long. But
Yeah.
it can't. I mean, it's kind of a case by case basis. Sometimes I want to know, sometimes I don't. But you do just looking at the number, the quick and easy to display number, can be misleading. You do have to like kind of click in and see like kind of look at the spread of completions, and you might see that certain outlier numbers are kind of throwing that average off. Yeah. $5 from Mega X6. Saying Casey Jones looks rough in this game.
And we just got to New York. So it's like, oh.
He definitely looks...
Makes sense, I guess.
This really is kind of that like Bionic Commando 3D reboot vein, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I never dreamed that this, like I was expecting this to be more of like
does it make you want it a little bit now?
Not with it being as expensive as it is.
Yeah. Well, you look it up.
I mean, it doesn't look great, but it definitely looks like a game of its time.
A good way to like, spend a weekend.
Like if you're talking about like a typical Xbox 360 era game.
The Statue of Liberty, it's like a mouth. It's just like.
It's definitely an interesting design.
Yeah. Looks like
looks
like the mouth of Sauron, kind of.
Than I was thinking. Like I was thinking, like the image in my head. Like again, I had no idea it was like 3D action. Like, but the image in my head was like, something very similar to like Rocket Knight. The 3D Rocket Knight game where it's a side-scrolling, 30 frames per second. Side scroll.
Oh, feed the mouth. Okay.
With polygons, but it's definitely a higher. I don't know about the execution necessarily, but it's definitely a higher budget / effort game than that.
Arujas is saying, is this game worth money now? And people at the beginning of the stream were saying that the PS3 version sells for like $100.
Yeah, and the 360 version was like 60, people were saying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it must have been, not a terribly huge print run. Do you have like a trunk of them in your attic? Is that what? Are you thinking?
Come on, get in line. Oh. Gotta feed the mouth of the Statue of Liberty. This is one of those games. There's so many games that came out during this generation that I think people forget about. What about Yaiba Ninja Gaiden X or Ninja Gaiden Z or whatever it is? I have that, and that was a clearance at Target find for like $4.99 or something like that.
I want to say that people were just like, even back when it came out, like they were just complaining like, oh, it's like so gross and obnoxious.
Yeah. Too bad that's not on the Ninja Gaiden.
The Meat Factory.
Fresh meat.
It smells like shit.
That reminds me.
Phase 4, the Meat Factory.
Get a load of this thing, huh?
But yeah, maybe Yaiba Ninja Gaiden X would be a good stream sometime.
You know what? I spent a little
Or Ninja Gaiden Z.
little time playing when I was winding down last night. I turned on my Series X. I hadn't had it on much in a little bit, and I looked on the store to see if there were any demos, and there was a demo for The Good Life, which is the new sweary game, or however you say his name.
Oh right.
You know, the diddly premonition guy.
Yeah.
It seemed like something I could get into. One thing that surprised me was
A surveillance camera.
Was that limited run games is like on like the title screen. I think they were involved like from the Kickstarter phase, like, you know, already confirming.
Wait, what was it gonna do?
Huh?
What was it gonna do?
What?
You say something about like the print run or something like that? Sorry.
I said limited run is on the title screen.
Oh. Wow.
Which is kind of unusual, like for their name to actually be in a game.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
But like the limited run has not happened yet. I hope not, because I kind of want it. I think they were involved like from the Kickstarter phase, because I think it was a Kickstarter game. And so I think they were just confirmed then. So, but it's still surprising. Like, I don't know if they were maybe if they actually played a role in publishing it. Maybe that's why they're actually their name is in the game. I'm not sure.
Kill it. Someone's watching.
We considered doing an episode on emulators and also texture add-on packs, improving the quality of retro games that wouldn't be possible on original hardware. I mean, it would be a learning process for us. You know, It's not something that we like know a lot about ourselves. So I think we'd be like kind of worried that we're going to like miss stuff that people would be annoyed for us overlooking.
So wait, really quick. Someone said that, you know, like cameos on this stage. Keep a lookout for this. This feels like a Silent Hill camera.
Yeah, like the camera angles here feel very Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Like it feels like the area in Silent Hill 1 where you like
and that looks
first get into the creepy stuff when you're like first looking for your daughter.
Yeah. And that looked like pulling in there as like the stage of the first stage boss in Splatterhouse 2.
Like if they're literal cameos, you'd think it'd be Namco games.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
But yeah, I don't know. You know, I honestly have such a hard time with like. I don't think I would personally be the right person to do that because, like, I'm always so reluctant and so unsure of like texture packs and things because I'm always like, oh, like, you know, it you know, maybe it messes with the original artistic vision, or maybe, you know, it's just AI upscaled and, you know, you can kind of see the seams and stuff. I mean, sometimes, you know, in official release games, you know, it can be done pretty well, and in other times it's just like, oh, I look at it and I'm like, oh, I can tell it's just done by an AI. Like, you know, some of the stuff in like the Super Mario 3D All-Stars for Super Mario 64, like it was pretty good, you know, not bad. But like at the end of the day, I would still rather play it on original hardware with like the original. Like I guess the thing for me is like sometimes like there's like a more cohesive feel to a game when you play it at its original resolution with its original textures. You know, like if you increase the resolution without increasing the resolution of the textures, you know, sometimes that looks off, or sometimes you upscale, you know, the HUD elements in a way that, you know, kind of just looks smeary or blurry or inauthentic. Like, I don't know. Like, and sometimes it's done well, and I probably don't give it as much credit as I should. But, like, I don't know.
It slides down his arm.
I don't think I would be the positive font of joy for that topic that people would probably want. Because I think some people just like always love that stuff. Like it's just like, oh yes, we're improving things. It's better than the original, and I'm always just kind of like, oh, but it's not the same.
Just curious. Don't miss anything. You know what to do, Rick.
No, apparently the cameos are from Evil Dead and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ah.
When you pick up the shotgun, look who the corpse is. Ooh.
I'm pressing B to grab an enemy. Oof. Saw that coming.
You have to load up all the chairs with someone?
Yeah.
What triggers your rage mode?
You're at the left bumper.
I mean, like, is it automatic or? I mean, like, is it filled up like the more you get hit or something?
Oh, I think it's how much blood gets spilled. That's cool. You can see like the reflections in it in the blood though. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's definitely very 2010 reflections, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like, I don't know, like I kind of prefer to like a lot of screen space effects where you can like see it fade at the edge of the screen.
Yeah. Demo Kirby is saying exactly what I was thinking, but didn't want to say out loud.
See, that's the kind
Oh,
of shit that got us
it like dings like the microwave is done.
So like is all this like weirdness like happening in
Well, I
in the
think
real
that,
world, or are you
Whoa.
in like another world?
How am I trying? I think I heard him say during the cutscene that this is like New York City after like he fails to do with whatever he's supposed to do, like preventing, like you know, like the guy that we're chasing after from doing anything.
Wow. Like that's something I've always been unclear on in sometimes in games like this, like in Devil May Cry, like, you know, all of like these twisted structures like emerging in the city. Is this something that like everyday people are seeing, or is it just like?
Well, in Devil May Cry, I think that it's something like it's similar to what happens in Bayonetta, where she like goes into like this kind of different dimension that people don't see.
Yeah, I wasn't a little unclear there. You know what I actually ordered recently
What's that?
was you know, I thought this was like expensive, or assumed it was, but like I just found it while I was browsing around, like new copies. Like it looks like a greatest hits version or something, but like the physical Devil May Cry 4 special edition. You know,
Wait.
you did, you know, a video on in our what was that video called? It was about like the digital games like that you
They got released
of in other regions.
Right, international physical versions. Right,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that version like expensive now or something? Is that?
No, like I assumed it was, but like I came across it and it wasn't. I was like, you know, I should get that.
Yeah.
I've never played Devil May Cry. Like I kind of want to play 5, but I also feel like I should play 4 first. So.
Yeah, especially if you played 1, 2, and 3, then it's probably
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like the biggest fan of the series, but like I really liked the demo for 5. And honestly, I liked the demo for the the Ninja Theory game as well, which that's a game that like people really were down on at the time, but I feel like you see when it gets brought up these days, I feel like it's more the people who like kind of defend it kind of come up. I mean, I've always liked Ninja Theory's games. I haven't played that one outside of the demo, but like I feel like I would probably like it.
Yeah.
But I want to play that too, even though like that doesn't really have to be played in order or anything because it's kind of its own thing. But
Okay, so I guess it's not. I guess in Devil May Cry, the people do see the demons. So I guess that's just part of everyday life.
But
Am I trying to?
Yeah, I mean, especially because like Nero is in
5.
In 5, and like I know like nothing about him.
Oh, I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Misery loves company.
Are you supposed to be throwing the guys on the walls where those circles are?
Maybe. Oh, PS2 Shinobi. Shinobi is pretty good, but yeah, you like it and then you hate it and you like it and you hate it, and it's. I'd like to see a remaster of that, with maybe more refined button mapping.
Meat wants to eat us, huh?
I mean, it looks pretty neat, but it also kind of looks like I bet a lot of the environments are pretty samey.
Yes, that is definitely the case. That is definitely the case. It's good though. It's got some good music, and I really like the design of
There
Hatsuma.
must be something we could do to help those creatures.
All right,
Oh,
so
Rugus says, as I recall, the point is to move from room to room when the microwaves are on.
okay. How do I get them to
I
stop?
see. So you want to be in the happy face zone.
Okay. I thought that's what I was doing, but then I was caught in between 2 rooms that had it running at the same time.
Oh. Oh, I guess there's 3 rooms, it looks like.
I guess so. Okay.
We
Yeah.
don't get to know Nero's backstory much in 4,
Yeah,
until
you get-
5. Well, I mean, it's kind of weird then, but I mean, that's all the more reason that you should probably play it to like at least have some understanding of like who he is. Like, was it a big disappointment at the time that you didn't play as Dante?
I mean, I feel like that probably made me less interested at the time, and why I didn't play
He
it.
looks. I mean, it's so weird
He's-
that they created this new character and he like doesn't even look that much different.
He doesn't. He doesn't. Except for he has like a demon hand.
But like, he's just got white hair. Doesn't he also wear red?
It's kind of like red and black. Yes.
Uh-huh. But it's just like if you like didn't closely, like if you didn't follow games, like you would probably look at those games and just think like, oh, it's the same character, but it's not.
Yeah. And I think that that's probably something they were thinking about. It's very intentional. Where it's somebody different, but it looks almost the same. Would people be opposed to playing as a new character if he looks the same, almost? That is a good question. Maybe it's like Big Boss looks almost the same as Solid Snake, so maybe people we're more open to playing as Big Boss in Metal Gear Solid 3.
Oh, I mean, Big Boss is better than Solid Snake anyway.
Right, but we didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it comes down to.
But then they made him Kiefer Sutherland. But
Yeah.
I didn't want to play as him.
There we go.
What a weird choice that was.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't the only thing wrong with that game, but it was.
How are we gonna get out of here?
Yeah, well, the game is just so it's fun to play. And it's,
Yeah, but like the story just did not need to happen.
yes. How come I don't have any
And it
slash?
happened so slowly. Yeah, I mean the gameplay was very good, but it just the game was just so drawn out.
Should I max out my facet? I can't anymore, I guess.
Yeah, Snake is a clone of Big Boss.
Just like old times.
And of course, you have to upgrade your skills as you do at 2010 and still today.
Yep. Yep.
You know, every action game has to have XP.
Yeah, or blood in this case.
Yeah, you can't, you know,
You can't just start with
you
your
can't
full...
just get better by getting new abilities or by getting better.
Yeah.
No, everything has to have XP.
The frame rate here is definitely... chucks a
Yeah, it
little bit.
looks like, how's like the 2D area so much worse? It would be so interesting to see how this would play on,
It's like...
on Series X.
The physics here just like feel really weird. Like there's... You gotta have more momentum, I guess. Skill trees are overrated.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it definitely works well in plenty of games. It obviously works well in RPGs, but like sometimes I feel like it's shoehorned into action games. Like it doesn't really need to be there. Sometimes it works. Don't get me wrong. Like it's rarely like actively bad. But like sometimes I'm just like, can't a game just be simple again? You know, what's so wrong with an action game just being an action game? Like, why can't RPG be an RPG and an action game be an action game? You know?
Yeah.
Like, why does every action game also have to be an RPG these days?
It's more bang for your buck, I guess.
I guess. I mean, it's mostly like putting a carrot on a stick.
Paint the walls red.
To give you that little
Oh, here we go. This is like
feel good
like hitting the guys in the background. You know, in the original Splatterhouse or Splatterhouse 2, when you hit the enemies and they splat against the background, like that was such a unique thing.
Absolutely.
At the time.
Like that. Like not a lot of brawlers really do that. Like
I don't like these jumps.
Batman Returns on Super Nintendo does that.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to look for that game because it actually seems pretty good. I mean, it's a
it definitely is pretty good. It's only sad that it's only one player, you know, being a brawler, but
yeah,
it's good.
As opposed to Genesis Batman Returns.
Right. Ooh, that's scary. That's scary looking. I like that it's all quiet. There's no music or anything right here. Scepter Sever says, "Hey guys, just found a Panasonic 3DO FZ1 with 2 controllers for $50 on Friday. Got home and Road Rashers in the console. Congratulations, you have the best game on the system." And it just came with it. I've said it before, and I will say it again. I believe that Road Rash, that version of Road Rash, has the best licensed soundtrack ever. And it is just one of many things that I believe that it is just easily the best game in the series. Also, it's just like, I probably would go in my top 100. Uh-oh. Okay. Someone said, don't complete the picture of your girlfriend. So, I don't know. It's looking innocent enough so far. Oh, Eric Fox says, "Is that the one with all the ugly menu artwork?" And we've talked about this quite a bit, about how you don't like the character graphics in there, because they are very, it's very, very early 90s, but I think in like the best possible way.
To me, it just looks like, the caricature artists at like, the county fair.
Oh really? No, it's
that's what it looks like to me. I don't.
We've talked about it extensively. It's.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. I mean, it's certainly something that is like a product of its time, but in a good way, I think.
Well, the thing is, like, they just have nothing to do with the aesthetic of the game itself. Like, it's I don't think it's even in the menus. It's just in the loading screens.
Yeah. I mean, it's when you choose your character, it's like that too. But it's interesting, like just the style of that game.
No, I mean it definitely is interesting, but I don't like that character style.
What I really liked about that game also is they had these FMV cutscenes that I just felt like really worked well. Like
those are great. Those are great.
Yeah, I mean they at a time when people thought, oh, there's too much FMV stuff. That is like it works really well in that game because there's so little of it. And
did people think there was too much FMV at that time? I mean, FMV was like the coolest stuff in the mid to late 90s. Like, I mean, maybe
by then that people were getting kind of.
I mean, I guess getting tired of FMV games in particular. Like, games where the gameplay is FMV.
Yeah, FMV.
Like, when it's just something that you watch, like, especially I think when the PlayStation took off, like, like I often talk about how like the FMV was like the reward for playing the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I think that when that happened, or like before that game, like FMV was not something you saw as much as just like a kind of a funny little cutscene. Like it was more like games were more based around it, I guess, at that point.
Well, I mean, Night Trap or whatever.
Yeah.
The FMV is the game.
Right.
Not just, the story or visual sort of flourishes.
Right. But they're funny, and they are color graded in a way that is really unique, and at a time when color grading,
I just don't like the characters.
It's very like it's kind of pinkish purple, or like a kind of a bluish to it. So it's, I don't know. I love Road Rash. I love the first two in that one. That's all you need.
I mean,
Technically, all you need is the 3DO one.
but I mean, if you don't have the 3DO, I mean, isn't the PlayStation version pretty comparable?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Yeah. All right, where are we going here?
No, I definitely have a soft spot for Phantasmagoria.
I haven't.
That's
I've never
pretty
played
fun.
that. I do want to. I should try that on the AO 486 core on the Mister.
Okay, you played on that.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a neat game.
When I get to the top here, I'm going to save and use the bathroom, fill up my water real quick. This sounds like the end of one of the, maybe the second game. We're like in an elevator. Uh-oh.
Jenny, I'm coming.
Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Alrighty. I mean, this game does seem to keep throwing, keeps going with new situations and new environments. I mean, it's definitely, you know, regardless of, you know, the consensus. I mean, or just, you know, general execution. You know, it sounds like from the fellow in the chat who worked on it, you know, it sounds like it was an interesting task bringing it to market, but it, you know, it is definitely a more elaborate game than I expected by any stretch of the imagination. Like I said, like I was just envisioning like, oh, it's probably like some sort of like 2D, like, you know, download only type thing, like, you know, the Konami Rocket Knight game that came out in that era. Sing us a song? Nah, you don't want that. You don't want that. Where is Doggo? That is a good question. Sandy? Sandy? Sandy, come here. What's this? What's that? What's this? Come see. Come see. What is this? Look, Sandy. What's this? What's this right here? I fooled you. It's nothing. It's nothing. I fooled you. It was nothing. You sleepy? You been sleeping? You been sleeping? Sleepy puppers. Sleepy puppers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just being a lazy butt. Namco did trademark Splatterhouse Encore a couple years ago. So I really hope it gets Katamari Damacy reroll or Mr. Drillerland remaster treatment. Ooh, that would be interesting. I'd buy it. How old is Sandy? Sandy turned 4 last week. Four-year-old puppy. You know, still acts like a puppy. Just wants to play all the time. Except when you sleep and you eat. Yeah. Right now you're being lazy puppers. Blue Point remakes this game. That would be the most overwrought, unnecessary level of effort ever for this. But it would probably be amazing. Deserves all the playtime and treats. Well, I don't know about all the playtime and treats. See, Sandy is not very good at playing by herself. She demands that playtime be a social thing, so she has to rope me into it. And if I don't feel like playing, then she'll just stare and stare and stare and stare until we have a good little play session. Which is probably ultimately good and healthy for me to give in and do, but we can't literally do it all the time.
Look what I found. It's Mr. Bones. Just hanging out over there. I thought he was going to go back upstairs after I took the thumbnail photo, but he's Mr. Bones right here.
Well, is that?
Look at the
Is that
bones.
like cobwebs coming out of his eye or something?
Yeah, there's a spider in its eye. It's Mr. Bones. Look at the
Sandy
bones.
thought that was that got Sandy's interest when you held that up.
Yeah.
There. She was like, "What?"
Oh. See, look at that spider.
Oh, I see. It's a white spider, so it's hard to sort of see what it is.
Hey, what's up there?
Are you going to wear anything in particular as you do Halloween festivities with your kids?
You know, I got a thing from Sega back in, I want to say, when we did the Virtua Fighter 4 stream, when we were giving away the codes and stuff.
Yeah.
They sent me this really cool gym bag, and it has a Akira gi in it. And I'm like, I might wear the Akira gi.
Does it fit? Have you tried it
I haven't tried it on. It's still in the package. But I was thinking about it. But I might do that. But we'll see. We'll see. Depends on how cold it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy that that's next week. Hey, Soph, you wanna come over here? Sophia doesn't know that there's maybe another family member joining us soon.
Oh yeah.
But we talk about it freely around here, but I think maybe she doesn't really know. But we're getting a we're getting a dog. We're getting a puppy. I'm kind of nervous about it. I've never been a dog person, but it's not really it wasn't my idea.
I think you'll love it.
Maybe. We'll see. I am just so afraid of having a dog that is just like barks at everything that goes past the house. Some of my friends growing up had dogs like that, and I think that really soured me on dogs.
I just don't let it do that.
Well, yeah. So am I supposed to jump this? Oh, can I? There we go.
Sandy doesn't bark at things that go by. She only barks at things that she thinks are coming over to play.
Yeah. Well.
Sometimes she gets a little confused and thinks she hears something. And she really wants to go look out the front door, but You know, she doesn't just bark at like she doesn't really even bark at dogs. Like she doesn't know too much about what dogs are all about. Like she
doesn't care.
She's like,
oh jeez,
humans are, you know, love and hugs and treats and pets and playtime.
Yeah.
And dogs, like, you don't really know what they want. What do they want? What do they do? Humans, you kind of know what they do.
Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And oh, come on, I keep on almost hitting quit every time I do that. Every time I die.
Oh, you'll have to show her on the stream.
Yeah. It should be like
right away.
like the 8th or 9th. I think is the day that we get her. We'll see. She's small. I don't want a big dog.
No, I've never had a big dog. I mean, Sandy's only my second dog I've personally owned, but I mean, there's never been, you know, larger than medium dogs in my family before.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's
I mean, my dad grew up with some big dogs.
Wall's red.
well, I think it's gonna ruin
Medium
Sophia's
dog.
life for a little while, and then
What?
I think that it's gonna ruin my cat Sophia's life for a while. But I think that Sophia is just so bored all the time that she'll probably be happy about it ultimately. It's a Shih Tzu, so it's not. From what I understand, I mean, one of our neighbors has one as well, and they're really quiet. So
Is that the dog that you sort of kept for a few days recently?
no, we didn't keep a dog. Oh, we didn't keep for a few days. We just went over there and fed the dog.
I thought you kept it at your house.
No, definitely not.
Oh, okay.
Definitely not.
You thought that dog was pretty cool, yeah?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think that's what opened my mind to getting that kind of dog.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Sophia's gonna be real stressed out, I think.
Well, at least she's a cat, and she can get she can get to places that a puppy can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just hope that it doesn't like picking up small things. I mean,
Well, I said that the dog's not allowed to come down to the basement without being supervised. For one thing.
Well, I mean, but also just like, you know, for its own, like, you know, health and life, your kids are gonna have to be good about like picking up Legos and
that's
crap. You know?
I mean, exactly. That's kind of a big thing. That's a big discussion. You know, that I think that is going to be good for the family overall, and not only that, but like taking the dog out for walks and everything. Like, it's such a pain in the butt to try to get the kids to like go out and go like down to the park and stuff. And hopefully, this is going to be something that will get them a lot more interested in doing that.
Yeah. Well, and you know too, like I mean, like I told you, like, you know, having multiple people in the house who can, you know, take responsibility for training the dog and taking care of the dog, like, you know, it should make it, you know, like Sandy was a big distraction for me, like, you know, the first several months I had her, because, you know, for the most part it was just me, you know, raising her and taking care of her, and, you know, making sure she learns that outside is the only place where it's okay to go to the bathroom, you know.
Yes.
But she learned that very well, but it took giving her lots and lots and lots of consistent opportunities and praise and rewards for that to sink in. But, you know, it has, you know. She still gets treats every time she pees. You know, I think some people stop giving treats after they learn that peeing is outside is where you do it, but I've always believed in continuing the reward that peeing and pooping outside is the best thing you can do. It's good. It's good stuff, isn't it, Steve?
Oh, is this part? Sorry, I was not even paying attention. So I will hopefully not be stuck on this part for too long. My cat is right down here, and I was thinking about, Demo Kirby was saying you should. I'm looking. I need my own stream mascot. I could pick her up and put her on the stream, but she hates to be held, which is another reason I think that we wanted to get another pet, because Sophia just like can't deal with my son. He just makes too big of movements towards her, and that at least used to, and now she's like has PTSD from it, even though like he just wants to be friends with her, but she like takes off and runs away pretty quickly every time. So we just wanted him to have a animal that loves him back. So the puppy won't know any better.
Well, just tell him to be gentle with her.
Yeah. Which way? Oh. I don't know what side I'm supposed to be heading towards. I got all turned around there. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm not sure if it's gonna be like the best thing that's ever happened. I'm nervous about it. I'm not, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what to expect. Yeah, my wife was looking at things to get for the dog, and I'm like, you can handle it. You just get what you think you should get. Unfortunately, I don't really care a ton.
Well, like you were saying, like if you kind of expect that what no matter how you feel, that the dog is, you're probably going to be the dog's favorite.
Well, yeah, because my wife didn't want a cat, and they're like best friends now. At least the cat likes my wife the most.
Well, Sadie liked you. She when you came over here. You've only been here, I think, one time since I've had Sadie.
Yeah.
But she wanted to go. You were sleeping on the air mattress upstairs, and I tried my hardest to keep her from going up there, but she was just like so excited to see you.
I don't know if I'm going the right way or not. Oh, is it still alive? How's it still alive? Come on. He's still alive. Probably the cat or the dog will probably be down here all the time. We'll see.
My dog I had growing up, whenever we went over to my aunt and uncle's house, she always went down to the finished basement, and she would just disappear, and you wouldn't see her for hours. And it's like, well, where's Brandy? I had Brandy growing up. Now I have Sandy. Someone's saying look for the cameo when you get the shotgun.
Right here, there is. This definitely has, obviously, Ash.
But that boomstick.
Yeah.
But Brandy would just disappear for hours, and she was just laying on the couch downstairs because she wasn't allowed on furniture. That my mom would not allow her to get on the furniture. So
at all periods.
Dogs were allowed on furniture at my aunt and uncle's house. And and she knew it. And she would just you would just go downstairs, and she'd be laid on the cool leather couch and just look at you like, I am not going to be moving for a week. She was just got so comfy. She just wanted to soak in all that couch sitting that she could while she was there.
Fuck it.
Oh, there's elevator music, of course. Uh-oh. Chainsaw time.
You're like, you should be the one with the chainsaw.
Ugly Jacket's asking if the 3D Altered Beast is any good.
I mean, that was not actually released, right?
You know, it was released in Europe.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It is not very good.
Wait. I know this guy. Yeah, we are screwed.
Is that it? Oh. I like that it has the classic style music during the side-scrolling parts too.
Oh.
Oh, am I gonna shoot him until he goes off the back?
music at all.
I guess this almost feels like a Terminator 2 reference right here. Oh.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be two of them at
Oh,
once
you were
now.
doomed.
Yeah. This guy, he's like just out of reach at all times.
Rick,
No. Look who's back. Show him why we call it Splatterhouse.
Splatterhouse?
Yeah.
Are they going to the Splatterhouse?
I don't know.
I guess I was a battle drum. Oh, Elk Plays and Paints, who we met at Retro World. So, I have this Splatterhouse game too. I even got signed by Jim Cummings at a convention. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder how often he signs this compared to like Disney stuff.
What am I doing? Am I not supposed to do that? Or did I miss like a finishing move? I missed the finishing move, didn't I? I missed the finishing move. I know I did. I didn't even catch it. Get him! Alright, here we go. I always forget what X and A are. Oh, that's a good camera angle. On the 360 controller. Whoa.
And A, see, I have no trouble with A and B, but X and Y are what I get. Especially Y. Like, for some reason, I can kind of accept X being where it is, but Y, Y should not be the top button. It just should not. Are you
When they
playing
play
with the silver controller with
I
the
am, yeah.
transforming D-pad?
do you have that one?
Yeah.
Is that considered like the best 360 controller? I think it is, right?
guess. Is that what you have or not?
Yeah. This one.
I think so. I you know what? It's been actually
Oh,
it's been sitting on the counter
I mean,
of my guest bedroom bathroom for like a year.
wait, what has been?
My silver colored 360 controller with the transforming D-pad.
Oh, why has it been sitting there for?
Because it needs to it has a small amount of corrosion in the battery bay, and I've just been way too lazy to clean it. And like, so it's been sick because I mean, like, you know, I haven't had guests over lately to
Right.
stay the night, so Like I haven't had to have that bathroom available for you, so it's just been sitting there, and I just haven't. I've been too lazy to play it and to clean it. And like the last game that I played, you know, through on my 360 was Fuse, which I played last December, and I was like, "Where's my controller?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, I set it in the bathroom. I still don't feel like cleaning it up." So, you know, I just got out one with my, my regular black 360 controller. It does not have the transforming D-pad, which is definitely not as good, but yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it makes that, if it's so much a actual real difference, or if it's more of like a psychological thing that the transforming D-pad feels better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't know if it is actually any, like, better, like, functional. But, like, the shape of the cross definitely feels better. The shape feels better. But, like, I do prefer it, but...
Oh, take
it's
us
still
chainsaw,
nowhere
please.
near as good as the D-pad on
Yep.
Xbox One or Series X.
Oh, man.
I was not at all sold on the Series X D-pad until I got it, and I really like it. It's very clicky, you know. It's not the quietest D-pad, but it works very well and feels quite nice. It's pretty cool. I mean, I you know, Drum and I played through.
Oh man!
all
Here we
of,
go! Oh, here we go!
Hardcore Uprising.
Yeah.
On the Series X.
And then they cut away before they see him like actually kill the guy.
And he used the Xbox One controller, and I used the Series X controller. So I mean, you know, I'd say that game is a pretty hardcore, excuse the pun, a pretty hardcore test of the Series X D-pad. You know,
Ooh, I got.
it is clicky. It does make noise, but it is a good. Oh hey! Now it's actually really great timing to unlock that. 'Cause it's basically 11 o'clock now.
Should I check it out?
You should check it out.
Oh, he's flying through.
As long as you're sure the game is saved.
Yeah. Here he goes again.
You know, speaking of making sure the game is saved, you know how every game has to have, you know, the warning when you boot it up saying when you see this icon, don't turn off your system, right?
Yeah.
When I load up the demo for the Good Life, it says when you see this symbol, do not turn the system off or else horrible things will happen.
Phase 5. The corpse that wouldn't die.
Nice landing.
Hey, your nutsack's not fused to your chin, right? I consider that a successful trip.
Are we?
You tell me.
The carvings are Mayan. I'd say we're somewhere in southern Mexico. Maybe the Yucatan Peninsula.
It's just funny hearing this voice coming out of his mouth or out of his face.
Would you buy a, you know, 4K remaster of this game?
I don't know.
I mean,
I guess
I feel like I would just because I don't have it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an interesting thing, you know.
It's certainly possible that could happen.
That you know, this 3D Splatterhouse exists. I honestly had no idea this was a 3D game. Like
you learn something new today.
It's like, you know, it looked a lot better than you would expect.
Oh yeah, and you know what? It is very fun. It's mindless fun. And you know, it's just
There's a place for that.
yeah.
Do you think you're going to try to finish it?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
Like, I mean, you're probably like, I bet you're like
Halfway
more
through.
than a third through the game.
Probably. I bet
Like,
there's 8 phases.
You're-
and
8 phases?
I'm guessing that there is.
Let's find out. You just started phase 5.
Yeah.
Do they call them phases in the original Splatterhouse games too? Like,
I don't think so.
like are the levels called phases? Like that was like an old timey arcade term, right?
Yeah. Like there was that Mega Man sounding charge sound again. And he charges up his.
Ooh.
Yeah, boards. What?
On GameFAQs, the Xbox 360 guide and walkthrough by Berserker is not only the highest rated Splatterhouse guide for Splatterhouse 2010, it was also the fact of the month for December 2010.
Really?
Wow.
I bet the Berserker loves this game like a truck.
There are 12 phases.
If anybody will get that, I'm sure. I'm sure somebody will.
So you're like about a third through, which is about what I expected. You should work on this game throughout the week and finish it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think I could.
If you do a phase a night, you'd be done by Halloween.
That's true. That's true. All right.
Or on Halloween.
All right. Should we try the classics?
Yeah, I bet it's blurry as heck. Because I'm guessing the game output is just 720p anyway.
Well, I have my system set to 720p.
Huh? Oh, the system's set to it?
Yeah.
So even if it was higher, we wouldn't know it.
It's looking blurry.
Except for Sever, there were 12 phases. So he just got to phase 5.
Yeah, it's filtered. I don't think there's any.
You know what? I would take this kind of presentation over shimmering any day.
Would you? Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, it's not bad. You know. Was there an arcade game of 2 or was 2 Genesis exclusive?
Oh, so this is a Genesis game?
I mean, that's how I played it. I don't know if there was an arcade version.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is the one that I tried. That splat looks so good on that wall. Like, that's just, oh man,
yeah,
it's so
and then
cool.
they slide down it. Yeah. Okay, 2 and 3 are console only, so they're like those are Genesis only. Arcade was part 1. Okay, 2 and 3 are Genesis exclusive. Okay, that's what I thought, but I didn't know if that was, you know, like I maybe missed something. But if you notice, if you look at the options, it mentions like uses the X button to attack. It says X on there.
Yeah. This was definitely a modified ROM. I wonder if anyone has dumped these versions of the game.
Wait, has dumped this? What?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
dumped
Yeah,
dumped specifically the version that is in this.
right. I don't know. Ooh.
It's like people have extracted like the, you know, the versions of ROMs that are on like GameCube discs.
Yeah.
You're not doing too good. Either.
No. Away from the command. Oh. Stay away from me. Ooh.
Arcade 3 would be interesting because the ROM is actually different because the cutscenes had to be completely redone because they lost the rights to the original actors. Really? So is Splatterhouse 3 is on this game as well?
Yeah. Here it comes.
Interesting. So I do wonder if that's been dumped. I wonder how far into the game you have to play to unlock that.
Well, I don't know. You can look. You have the game FAQ open. You can probably check it out. But you know, I can definitely put this in. The Game Within Games episode is pretty. Like that video is done pretty good, and it was really fun to make. I should just do another one because I have enough material from via suggestions and just like other stuff.
That was a popular concept.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I could definitely show these because I didn't do it before. And that's why I bought this in the first place.
Yeah.
It's for that video.
It was cheap back then, huh?
Yeah. I sold the price tag on mine. It was $9.99.
I want to see how many views that video has.
I think it's like 250,000.
Games Within. Well, yeah, almost 250.
Yeah, I mean,
247.
You want to see the first one?
What?
You want to see the first one here? I'll play the first one for a second.
I'm sure it's not a lot different. Is it the Turbo Graphics version?
I think this is the arcade version.
Oh. Okay. Is the TurboGrafx the only home port of the first game?
It's shown up on different collections, like on Namco collections.
That's kind of different though, because aren't those like kind of intending to be more exactly the arcade version, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but this I'm sure this is arcade.
Like the TurboGrafx version of this had a red hockey mask.
Ah. They've had it at Video Game World lately. I've been tempted.
And you know what? That's one I would probably
like
get if I saw it.
Though.
Yeah, but it's not as expensive as you would expect.
No. I mean, I always come up with other things that I want to buy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, but I've definitely been tempted. Oh yeah, there's that splat action.
Uh-oh, I gotta climb up here. Yeah, I think that first level, I don't think that's I think that's a different first level than what's in the TurboGrafx version.
Mm.
I've never seen this game in the arcade before. Oh, that's interesting. The BFG edition removes the Nazi references in Doom, or in Doom 2. It causes major desyncs for online players who use the Xbox Live Arcade version. Huh. Alright, let me...
Oh,
It's always so... I haven't played the 360 in so long. That's kind of... It's kind of surreal to look at this. I still have the same... shirt. I've ever since I got AfterBurner Climax, it came with a free avatar item for an AfterBurner shirt, and I've worn that ever since.
my avatar is just wearing suspenders. He looks like a farmer. He wears suspenders and a monocle.
Oh, that's fun. Always a good game to like ride out the stream on. Since I was just talking
still
about
think
it.
this interface is way better than what's on the current gen systems.
Yeah. Every time people see this game on stream and they've never seen it before, they're like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
It is a great looking
You
game.
you have just booted up this game no few times on a
AfterBurner
stream.
Yeah.
Climax.
Either on
Because
this
it's
or on
like
PS.
you can play through the whole game. Like since I have everything unlocked, you know, you can play through the entire game without even in like less than 10 minutes. Like
You have everything unlocked on both versions?
yeah. I bought it on both.
There's that CJC.
Yeah.
Yeah, when people haven't seen this and then they see it, they're just like immediately blown away. And they are like, ooh, I want to buy this. And you can't.
Yeah.
You cannot. It's not bullshit.
Select aircraft.
And you always got to play with using the Tomcat and with the classic music. You can't not play it. Like I never use the new music. This is download only. This is a game that I would love to get this game on a disc. This game is amazing. And it's so smooth.
It is an arcade game though, so
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
arcade version also exists. I
Yeah.
guess you could say that's the physical version.
Yeah, exactly. And there's one at the GameWorks by here, and it has like a whole thing, like it moves.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, is it like an arcade board that you could put into a super gun, or is it more one of those things where it's just kind of its own computer?
Isn't it like Limburg or something like that? I'm not sure if that's like works as like its own board. You probably need like a lot more of the hardware. Yes. Does this look pretty good on stream though? I always wonder if this is so fast that it would make the
It's
stream
actually not
compress.
bad at all. Because especially like the sky doesn't move that fast. So like I think more of the bit rate can go to the ground. It's actually not that bad. I mean, it's not great. But you can clearly see what's going on.
They had to take this off the shop because it has like the Tomcat is like the actual plane is like a licensed thing. The F-14 Tomcat, or as they call it in this, the Super Tomcat. So I think once their license for that expired, that's what happened with OutRun Online as well. They had the Ferrari license, and then when they lost that, they had to pull that down. And I have that too.
What does that look like?
It's just you want to see it for a second?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's just OutRun 2 in HD, which is a good thing, and with like less options. It doesn't have all of the stuff that's in Coast to Coast.
I mean, OutRun 2 is still a super scalar game, right?
No.
I mean, it's not OutRun 2006, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's OutRun 2.
Yeah. OutRun
Oh.
2006 is like the expansion, I guess.
I see.
But yeah, it
Well,
doesn't.
at least there is a version of that you can play. You can play OutRun 2006.
Right. Oh, this needs an update. I think those updates are still
I
on here.
do have that coast to coast on PS2.
Oh yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's a good one to have. I mean, it's
Why don't they just update the game, rename the plane something else? I mean,
see that's the
dev
reason why. Though.
time, money. They probably just thought it wouldn't be worth it. So I mean, this is interesting. So there's an HD version of this game.
Yeah, that you can't buy.
You know what's interesting that I was thinking about when I was at, the opening shot of the Super Scope episode was me playing Time Crisis 4 at Video Game World. I mainly went there to shoot the Terminator 2 arcade machine, but I thought, oh well, it'll be good to have some extra light gun games for the opening too.
Yeah.
Shot Time Crisis 4, and I mean, it's like I think it's 480p. It's interesting to think that the home version of that on PlayStation 3 is HD, and that the original arcade version is not. And I guess that's the case here as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, is this also on PS3?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I had a PS3 version.
I feel like I've never heard you talk about this version of the game.
Yeah, this is like just much like AfterBurner Climax. It's really sad that this is not something you can buy.
Yeah, I've never heard you talk about that. I mean, would you consider this a better version of the game than what you can play on PS2 or Xbox?
It doesn't have a lot of like some of the stuff that's in Coast to Coast, because Coast to Coast
So
has
this is more like
content.
a straight arcade.
Well, it has different modes, but I think that there's more content in those.
I see.
But I mean, it looks better. Or
Well, I mean, you say it looks better, but at the same time, like, I really wonder, like, playing in 480i or 480p on a CRT might look better than playing in 720p on a 4K TV.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so someone Elk Place Sand Paint is also on the PS3. So, but I don't.
It's on or was on.
It was on. Yeah, you can't buy it now. I love the drifting in this game. It's so easy.
Well, you would love Cruise and Blast then. Like, the drifting is unbelievably easy in that. Like, you can practically drift on straightaways.
Yeah, well, you kind of miss too. It just depends on how much.
Like, you practically go straight while drifting. It's kind of fun.
Driving sideways.
I meant to do it
it.
this weekend, but I didn't, because I was played a little more Cruise and Blast this week. I beat I got gold on all of the cups in hard mode, and unlocked like the very hard mode. But the main reason I played hard mode is I was like, are there going to be like credits after this? Like, when should I mark this beat on my backlogger?
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking that nothing you do in the game probably triggers credits. Like, at first I didn't see. At first I thought it had to, because I didn't think you could access the credits from the main menu. But then I found where they were. So I'm kind of betting the game never actually triggers credits. I think you just look at them if you want to. I was thinking like I'm just gonna go ahead and mark it beat because I feel like I probably
Yeah.
could consider it beat at this point. I'd like to unlock more of the
Like
cars.
those signs, there's like
They're
AMD
pretty
signs.
hilarious. Huh?
Like the signs on the side of the road.
Oh
There's
yeah,
there's
all
like
these brands.
yeah, it's like AMD.
Oh yeah, AMD. That's funny, actually.
If you look at the 2D elements, like the score, like the numbers and the score and everything like that, you can tell that that's like not upscaled that well.
Like on the stream, it doesn't look that bad because it's kind of just smudged in with the compression.
Yeah. Oh. There's some hitches there, some loading hitches, I guess. Look at this background. Oh, come on! Oh, whew!
Oh man, that starry sky looks great.
Yeah, right? So this is the last area anyways. Oh, and that just ruined all my chances.
On those,
Oh, look, we got a space shuttle. I just ruined my chances, though, of finishing the race.
Are there any other like competing cars, or are you just totally against the time?
No, there's other cars. You have rivals.
But I don't see like a placement marker.
Oh no, there's nothing like that. They're just people free to try to beat. Almost.
Oh, you were almost there.
Yeah, almost. Look at that. I was right at the very end. I got some like other stuff on here. Let me just like, I know it's like I'm gonna wrap it up here, but it's just fun to see what else I have on here because there's some stuff that is not backwards compatible.
Yeah,
I'm sure I have plenty of stuff. It's not.
I mean, I don't have that much stuff on my 360 just because I mean I got it so late.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously we can't have I can't have your account connected on that system.
Right. Some of these I don't even realize that I had.
We got Breath of Death 7 was like, wasn't that like originally an XBLA game?
I think so, yeah.
Or like an XBLA indie game. Or
yeah,
that was like a separate thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, I guess I downloaded
the
demo.
Dreamcast collection.
Yeah.
Didn't I pick up a copy of that for a physical copy of that for you?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what's installed.
Oh, okay. I thought these were downloaded games. I never got all of my 360 games like installed on the hard drive on the system. I should at least get the games that like can only be played on 360 like installed. It's amazing to me that you know you can just do a full install of any game on the system.
Yeah,
like that's something I kind of wish you could do on PS3.
There is $5 from Eric Fox.
Oh,
thank
you.
Saying thanks for a great stream, guys. Have a great Halloween. Same to you.
Well, you too. And like I said early in the stream, you know, just for anyone who wasn't around, we're not doing a stream here on Halloween, but I will be streaming with the Backloggery crew playing the third game of the Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes, that just came out, I think, Friday. I need to remember to go pick it up. I had it pre-ordered at Best Buy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. Oh, I do have this. I have the demo of this, even though you can't buy it.
Turtles in Time. Oh,
ReShelled,
okay.
yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna be out with my kids trick or treating, so that's why I won't be on the stream, or why we're not streaming over here.
This is April O'Neil reporting.
Look at the V-Sync, like the screen tearing here. A lot of screen tearing going on during this. Yeah, this is one.
Not a great sign.
You say, yep. Oh wait, does it say you bloated meat bag or whatever he calls them? De-shelled, reshelled. I downloaded some of these demos because, you know, it's just good to have them on there for one reason or another.
Yeah.
And I had downloaded the demos
I'm sure
previously.
we've used this game as an example of something before. So I always get confused. So you can't buy this game or the arcade version either.
Right. I think the arcade version is really good on here.
Yeah, there was a lot of screen tearing. It's like in the middle of the screen too.
Yeah.
Is the music different?
Yes. It doesn't even seem to be like
any Ninja Turtles theme in this at all.
I don't know.
Because like the title, I didn't hear it on the title screen.
No, it's the arcade version has different music in the opening too. It's like Pizza Power. I love the that.
Aside from the screen tearing, I think people generally kind of don't like this game, but I don't know. I don't think it looks that bad.
I think that it loses a lot of the charm of the original.
Sure. I mean, but you know, I can say that because I'm like, to me,
you're not particularly fond of that of Turtles.
I am a much bigger fan of, you know, the previous Turtles arcade game and the NES version than I am of any.
Oh, it's like a double jump for some reason.
Huh?
It's like a double jump for some reason.
Some reason indeed.
And I think at the time, people that bought this didn't realize that it was based on the arcade and not the Super Nintendo version. So there's a lot less levels in it.
It kind of weirds me out how it looks like Donatello's purple is neon. They probably did.
Well, his eyes are glowing
reasons,
too. Look at his eyes; they're glowing.
It looks kind of weird.
Oof. That flattened me. I see you, so. You can come up and say hi now. You want to come up and say hi? You're back to your little nip back. I made like a little bed for her down here, so she sleeps, and I knew that she would like it, and she's spent all day in it. All right. Let's quit the game. Okay. Well, is that gonna do it? I think that'll do it for this week.
That was
a lot of fun.
That was an interesting pick for a stream game tonight. I think.
Yeah.
It was more entertaining to watch than I expected.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna try and finish it.
I kind of like your lighting right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like now it's not
It's like not all super red. Like it's just it kind of
Yeah.
pops.
I don't know why I was doing that before. Let's see if we can get. She's not gonna want to come up here.
$5 from Vanessa saying, "Guess you guys might say you had a bloody good time. Great stream. Happy Halloween." At first, I read that as "great scream." Ooh.
Oh yeah. The Contra remake game. I don't think I have that. I have it's the arcade version. Oh, are you talking about the one on portables?
Wait, there's like a Contra 1 remake on here?
Not on here, no. On phones there is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, the arcade like emulation is not great.
Yeah.
I mean, the arcade game is not great.
It was $5 from Shadow Mask saying, "Made and then lost $400 on crypto. Take this and do better than I can." Thank you. Well, you never know. I just like basically have whatever we have just in an account, and you never know when you might need it. So, anyways, thank you to everybody who donated and everybody who hung out for the full duration this week. It was a lot of fun, and I hope everybody has a great week.
Yep, and you know we're gonna be at Retro World.
Yeah, in 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks
before
now.
the next time that we have a stream. In fact, so
yeah. Well, I think that if we're gonna be off like on this channel for 2 weeks, we should try to do like maybe a bonus stream. And you know, even if you can't, I've been talking about like a separate bonus stream that John and I might do during the day, one day. So, well, maybe we'll do like an extra stream just to keep things alive.
Yeah.
Because 2 weeks off is like we've never taken, even through like just circumstances. I don't think we've ever missed 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. So I mean, and you know, I might see. I mean, it depends on. I just have no idea if I'll be home in time to do a stream that Sunday or not. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. I feel like I don't get back until like 10 o'clock that night, but maybe my plans is changed. But anyways, take care everybody, and have a good week.
Good night.